Welcome to the newest episode of your coworker's favorite movie podcast. It's The Magic of Cinema.
You must have heard surely of movie magic.
What is up? It is another episode of your coworker's favorite podcast, The Magic of Cinema. And today is a very special day. It's one we've been waiting for months, even years, really, man. The rumors are true. There was Kingdom Hearts news that was leaked this week. We're here to break it all down and talk it all out. Oh shit, that's the wrong podcast. Actually, we're here to talk about what else but the Odyssey, man. Christopher Nolan's juggernaut has officially crash landed on the shores of the U.S., and my buddies and I are here to break this whole thing down and talk about what we liked, what we loved, and what we enjoyed. Spoilers, it was fun. This is The Magic of Cinema, hosted by myself, Mac, and I'm joined as always by my buddies, Pip.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
Heyo, and Justin.
Gorsh. Did you like that? My goofy Kingdom Hearts.
That was sick. That was dope. I liked it.
So if it
was goofy.
All right, let's go. Fan cast Kingdom Hearts characters in the Odyssey.
Fuck yeah.
Is Mickey Odysseus? By
Mickey's
default?
for sure Odysseus.
Yeah, Mickey has to be Odysseus.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed.
Dude.
But,
I am so stoked to get to talk about this with my buddies, man. Like this is really cool for us. Like we've been talking about this movie for like literally like months and months and months. Before we were even doing this podcast, we were talking about how excited we are to watch this thing. So the only way for us to kick this thing off is to just talk about how we felt the moment the credits rolled. For context, Pip actually saw this a couple days ahead of us, so he saw this over its opening day weekend, and then myself and Justin, we saw it the following Tuesday. So Pip, brother, you're sitting there, the credits roll. What are you feeling when the Odyssey gets done?
yeah, when it gets done, I'll tell you what I feel up at the beginning of it, before that. What I feel is the other mommy is fuck that fucking trailer is how I feel at the beginning of that. Yeah, no, I got to see it on Saturday. My wife surprised me with 70mm tickets, so I'm one of the few who got to see it. I count myself very lucky for it. Got a theater in Colorado that supports it. And we were in row B, so second row. So I mean, when you see the movie, you'll understand. But Zeus's lightning storm, like I was in that storm with them. Yeah. So when the credits roll, I mean, honestly, my initial reaction to the movie was, it was just great. I mean, that's not the best description, and I'm sure there's not. There's better ways of explaining it or describing it, which we'll get into. But personally, when the credits were rolling, I was just so happy that I had that opportunity to see it. Getting out to the movies or getting out to the cinema has been not the easiest thing for me since I had to have surgery. And, I've only been able to go to the movies a handful of times, which is, hard for me. And so that was like, hey, I was worried. I wasn't going to get to see it. I was worried that I was going to miss out on another one that I've been looking forward to. We did our earlier podcast about the movies that you're most excited for. I haven't seen any of them. So I just didn't have the opportunity to. So Odyssey, my initial reaction is that I loved it, and I couldn't wait to go just devour as much as I possibly could about how they made the movie. That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. This was
rad.
like when we did our
Justin.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, when we did our most anticipated, like this was all our number ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you got one on the list.
I got it.
So there you
That's
go.
the one that matters. Yeah. Death of Robin Hood. I'll catch it still. Still catch it.
That's great.
Man, it's just like it's so interesting. Okay, so Justin and I then a couple days later we saw it in IMAX, and so I already kind of know where Justin was at. I also want to formally apologize to Justin because I was like punching this dude next to me. I was like gripping his knee. I was like, "Yo, like what a visceral experience, man!" And like, there's so many moments. We'll get into all the moments. We're gonna break this thing down, man. But like, there's just so many moments of like this intense, like really really high emotional point and like these strong like visceral instances, and I was just like, wow, like this is something else, man. And like I get overcome in those, and so I was like beating up his leg, and I was like, holy shit, like, are you seeing this? And he's like, yeah, dude. Like, Justin, what'd you think of this thing, man, walking out of this?
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean most anticipated movie so far of the year, and it I think by any stretch of the means, any marker, like it met if not exceeded those expectations, and it seems obvious because I mean it's Christopher Nolan movie. I mean he hasn't he's got a pretty decent track record. This guy. I don't know if you've heard much about him or seen anything else
Up
he's
and
done.
coming.
Yeah, but it's one of those movies that's an event. Like I mean, I didn't really turn around. Like we were so Mac and I were, I think, we row F of the IMAX theater. So we were not quite as close as second row, but we were still pretty close. Like up in it, but not to the point. Like I was worried that we'd be too close to the screen where it'd be just too overwhelming. But I feel like we were. I mean, maybe not perfect seats, but they're still really good, and it didn't really impact the viewing
I agree.
experience. But I did not turn to look and see how full the theater was. I'm assuming it was packed house, but it is like one of those like events that um, you know uh, again, another Nolan movie, but it did remind me of like the Barbenheimer weekend. That was another instance where seats were hard to come by. Packed movie house, perfect. This is the perfect movie to see with a huge crowd. Um, just to all like have that experience, and yeah, it was thrilling. It was scary, it was gross at parts, and also very emotionally moving, like one scene in particular that really like struck a chord with me and got to me. And as Mac is like punching my leg and stuff, I'm like, yeah, no, I love it. It's so cool. Like wiping away
Yeah,
single Denzel tear from my cheek.
that's right.
But no, it was, yeah. So when credits rolled, I struck the uh, Martin Scorsese absolute cinema pose because
He
that's
did.
really all you could do.
He did. He
Um,
literally turned to me and he put his hands up and said, "What else can you do?" Like that. It's so true. Yeah, man. It does feel like an event, and we've been lucky these last few years to see movies that kind of feel like a big deal. There's all
mhm.
this talk about kind of the state of Hollywood and where it's at and how the nature of like movie theaters have shifted, but this one really does kind of feel like it is an event. It's appointment viewing. Like you've got people who have not been to the movie theater in years going and catching this movie in the largest screen that they can possibly see it on. Like it's rad. It's a really, really awesome situation, man. So yeah, like talking about that, like, you guys mentioned all these kind of high points and stuff. Like, what do you think? I mean, we can kind of get into the plot if you guys feel like you're ready for that. Like, what are the different moments that like really stuck out to you guys? It's up to y'all if you want to kind of touch them individually and kind of out of order. If you want to go through the plot sort of as they happen, it's kind of whatever you boys want to do.
Yeah, Justin, what's your previous experience just with the story of the Odyssey?
So no, yeah, that's yeah, I'm because I got like as far as like moments within the movie, like I've got a few that like I could just say the whole movie, like I that's what my favorite part. But yeah, just to kind of like set base level. So like as far as the Odyssey, like I know everyone kind of has a story of like having to read it in like high school, like English and stuff like that. I don't, and the apologies to my English teacher, Miss Rhodes, if she's listening. I don't
What's up, Miss
recall.
Rhodes?
Yeah, shout out Miss Rhodes. I don't think she's Miss Rhodes anymore. I think she got married at some point. Um, but I don't recall like actually reading the Odyssey. We did like read the Iliad, and I definitely pretended to read parts of the Iliad at that point, being
Attaboy.
a shitty sophomore. Um, but yeah, so I had a basic understanding of the Odyssey. Yeah, we definitely studied the Iliad. But yeah, as far as like, I mean, the Odyssey, like, it is one of those things like, the idea of like the Trojan horse, like that's something that is so ingrained in like culture and like pop culture that it's hard to remember, or not hard to remember, but it's like it's easy to forget, I guess. Oh yeah, that came from this 3,000 year old epic
Yeah,
poem, and so
and the
things like
siren
that.
songs.
Yeah, siren song,
Yep.
like all those things like that are so like ingrained and like just basically our culture and our minds. Like somebody says that to you, like, oh, it's a Trojan horse, like you know exactly what that means, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean that, like, by no means am I like a lit major or anything like that. I never studied like Greek mythology, but that the basic like building blocks have always been there, and I'm excited now having seen the movie. I do actually want to kind of go back and like today I ordered, there's an Odyssey, this show like how smooth brained I am, an Odyssey graphic novel, um,
Oh yeah.
to read it, and kind of go through that, and then also look at like previous, being a movie nerd, like what influences are there in the Odyssey, or what movies have been influenced by the Odyssey? What have they like, taken from that? So that's kind of my connection. But Mac, you said before we started recording that you're like a Greek mythology like professor. Is that right? Did I get
No,
that?
that is not right. I just appreciate you. No. Yeah, like so growing up, man, like I've always liked mythology. I think that the way, ancient peoples like make sense of the world is pretty cool. And so like I've always been super interested in Greek mythology and like Egyptian and like Norse and like, Aztec mythology is always super cool too. Shouts out like games like Age of Mythology, which like really, put me onto those kinds of concepts. But like Greek mythology is like what I really sunk my teeth into when I was in like high school. I've got books that I picked up when I was in high school on my shelf right now about like Greek mythology and like retellings of these stories. And so the Odyssey is one that I was always really, really, really interested in because it's so interesting. I mean, there's so many cool themes and so many characters and a lot of wild shit going on there, obviously. And so like I had a decent, like I'm not like a scholarly, whatever, but like I definitely had like a decent knowledge of the main points of the story going into this. And so this is like, at least in the versions that I've read, this is like a really faithful adaptation. The only thing that Nolan kind of shies away from in this are like the actual influence of the gods themselves, because a lot of the major plot points of the Odyssey are like the gods literally getting their hands dirty and saying, hey, like this is what we're going to do now. And then just some of the kind of more antiquated stuff, like, the concept stuff of like women as property and like things to be owned. Like, obviously, he kind of shies away from that. There's a lot of kind of grisly stuff in the original Odyssey that like is of its time, like, people being hung and, oh, like you slept with this guy, so you have to die about it type deal. Like, obviously, he gets away from all that. But as far as like the major plot points, the islands, what happens there, the characters and what they go through, like it's pretty faithful retelling, at least as far as like however faithful a 3,000-year-old story that was told orally, but from guy to guy, can be. So I had a good working knowledge of it, and as far as like of the major plot points, I thought it was really, really faithful and very cool. What
Yeah.
was yours, Pip? How would you
Yeah.
know the Odyssey coming into this?
Yeah. So I've always had like a cursory knowledge of it. Similar, Justin. We didn't read it in high school. We we did a lot of Shakespeare type of readings in my literature classes in high school. Um, so we didn't read the Odyssey or the Iliad, but I was always really interested in it, and so I've never read it, but I've read parts of it, just by curiosity and looking up myths, and as well as there's a lot of media around the Odyssey and connected to the Odyssey, and I'm sure no one's this is really well known that "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" is somewhat of a telling of the Odyssey, and that right there is my big connection to it. Is one of my favorite movies. Watched the most growing up with my mom and my dad, and just um, uh, so my connections to the Odyssey are primarily from that. But I want to say, you said something interesting, Mac, about like the gods actually getting involved and getting their hands dirty in the story. And I know Christopher Nolan didn't want the gods to be physical embodiments. He wanted them to be supernatural, like weather phenomenon and stuff, and to kind of pinpoint that as a this is likely what they would have been experiencing actually. And I love that aspect of it. Like, you've angered Poseidon, now we can't sail. We're in the doldrums. You've angered Zeus, and now the lightning storms, which I mentioned earlier, which was like, I legitimately during that part like had to close my eyes. I was like, I'm not epileptic, but if I was, this would be a problem. Like this is a lot. So I'm glad that you mentioned that right away, because I thought that was a really cool way they did that. And so that's kind of my background with it. It's not much in an official capacity, but I've always been really interested in it as well. And I've said this a few times as well. I think I like all the making of the movie parts about this movie and how they did things almost more than I liked the movie, and I liked the movie a lot. And so just how they went about and the decisions they made as to why they did things that way. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think no, I'm right there with you as far as the making of. Like, I think it speaks to Christopher Nolan, like his commitment to like the craftsmanship and not like rely like there is a version of this movie that is done by um and we don't necessarily have to glaze Christopher Nolan. Everybody knows that he's made some incredible movies. He's an incredible filmmaker, but there is a version of this done by a lesser filmmaker that is there's a CGI like Poseidon rising from the ocean. There are weird CGI like pig monsters at one point. Not to, if I'm jumping ahead a little bit, and so like I really appreciated like that aspect. Mentioning like he didn't like really visualize the gods, with the exception of one that was really well done. And I think the reveal at the end, we'll kind of get more into that because it does link into like maybe my favorite part of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But Zendaya's, excuse me, her Athena,
Yes.
as a
Yep.
as that representation.
Yeah.
And then I mean you meet all sorts of meet Circe the witch and Calypso.
Who's
Um,
kind of a god, right? I think she is a goddess of some kind,
I mean,
deity.
feed me lotus flowers and keep me on your island, Calypso. Like
Calypso,
I'm right there with you, Odysseus.
Charlize Theron, or Calypso?
Well,
you know,
they're one and the same. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
No, that's great. That's great.
yeah,
I just think like it's so it's so cool that because Justin being all coy talking about, oh, I gotta rewatch Odyssey. I know you just watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou.
I did.
Like
Yeah.
I know
Hmm.
that that the Odyssey is like one of the stories that is like most commonly retold, and there are
Hmm.
great Odyssey movies. Like
Yeah.
we joke, but like we did say that Christopher Nolan did not have an easy task making a movie that was as good as or potentially better than Oh Brother Where Art Thou, because that is genuinely
A great
one of the
movie.
best
Yeah.
movies any of us has ever seen. Like that's an amazing movie. But it's cool to me that he took the time to like not only create, so Pip talking about like the production, the creation movie, not only make a, Odyssey movie that is very, you know, um representative of the time, but in every aspect of it. So for example, fucking oh my God, Ludwig Göransson. This dude can do no wrong. Like, I'm going to
Yeah.
name my first son Ludwig. You know what I mean? Like, this brother, the steps that he takes to create these sounds that are very like anthemic of that time period, and crafting all these thousands of year old instruments to make it as close to the real experience of listening to these instruments back in that time period. Like, it's unbelievable.
Mhm.
Like, we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the
Yeah.
plot points and stuff of this movie, and we
Right.
should, but I am obsessed with its score. Like, I think this is, again, and I say this every episode, but Ludwig Göransson has made yet another banger all time movie score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff, man.
Absolutely. It
It's
just
funny. I've read a bunch about, and I've been seeing this kind of a lot of them calling him like the Indiana Jones of producing, because I mean he had to go find these old instruments and basically recreate them, and there was an image of him like swapping the idol out, but it was with a steel drum, like kind
That's
of thing,
awesome.
and so I
That's really
agree.
cool.
I mean, it's just the music is, I think, in the movie just so well done that I don't even a lot of the I don't even like when I was watching the movie I didn't even realize that the music was really happening. Like it just so naturally sits into the movie that, and I feel like, and we can talk about this later if we get talk more about Christopher Nolan. I feel like this is one of the things with Christopher Nolan that I've kind of been a little bit like, you don't have to drown me with your music like swells. And I felt like this was handled incredibly well, with the just how easily it melds into everything.
Yeah, this one did not have the that is like an important point, I think, particularly with Christopher Nolan, that I think is like yeah, is it a bug or is it a feature kind of thing of some of his previous work where it's like, what the hell is anybody like saying? Like, I don't like watching Tenet, like I don't know like what words you
I was
guys
gonna
are
say Tenet.
saying.
Yep.
Like is it like just the like turning up the music so much and the sound, and then like the dialogue is just like secondary or third. But in this one, like the mix was like so good, I felt that I was never like, what the hell did they just say? Even in like the most intense like moments, like either through like whatever they're saying or through like performance, like it came through. um and then so just to backtrack a little bit before we get into a little more, but another thing that just popped into my head, like talking about like connection to the Odyssey, but when in that class when we were reading the Iliad, we also focused on Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, which I think directly is, if I recall, I should have come prepared for this, but it is like basically going through the Odyssey, like talking, using the Odyssey as these tools of like, the various like journey, the journey that a hero goes on. Like, I think for, contemporary movies, probably most famously Star Wars: A New Hope, that is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. Um, and so that is another thing where I think I learned about the Odyssey, and it's cool to see like those building blocks, the Odyssey, hero's journey, like put into all these other movies, and bringing it back to Nolan, like he has essentially been making the Odyssey for his entire career. I know we've talked about a couple of films, and I'm sure we'll get into that, as far as what he's done in the past that are very much inspired, and then he finally got to actually just make the whole damn thing, which is not it's not been done. Um, I don't think. I mean, there's the Rafe Fiennes, which I don't have any of us watched that one, The Return,
No,
which is
from
but that's
2024.
I've not.
yeah. But
Mm-mm.
Pip, you were saying that's like literally like when Odysseus like washes ashore on Ithaca, and
Yeah,
like
so it's
that's where
all
the
the
movie
it's
starts.
yeah it's exactly that. It literally starts with the return of Odysseus, where he
Hmm.
washes ashore, and then goes into hiding as an old man to observe, and
Yeah,
um, yeah, I know that there have been other the Odyssey movies,
yeah,
but I don't. I agree. I think that this one just in general is just the most complete one.
Yeah.
And if we're wrong, somebody let us know if we're
Right.
forgetting one of them. But I would agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, but aside, apart from the SpongeBob SquarePants movie,
No, I was
obviously
gonna say other than
that's,
SpongeBob. Yeah.
that and Oh Brother.
Yeah.
Those are like, top two
Yeah.
Odyssey movies.
Who's a better
Man.
Cyclops, John Goodman or the puppet?
Oh, it's a
uh,
toss up.
oh yeah, man. No, so yeah, like the puppet Cyclops. I guess I mean let's just jump into some of this shit. Like
Yeah.
uh, but like in the actual movie, played by Bill Irwin, who is the voice of
Mm.
Tars in Interstellar. Also, he is Mr. Noodle on Sesame Street. So shouts out to Elmo and Mr.
Shouts
Noodle.
out Elmo always.
Yeah. But
Pick
I
a
mean,
side on.
yeah. He's been in a few things, but I think he is one of Nolan's guys, and so his performance as Cyclops, like, man, that sequence.
Yeah,
But
it's funny. I just touch on that sequence, and he was the body of Tars too. Like he did all the
oh,
when
they
Tars
put him
was
in the
running.
suit.
That's him doing it. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But I was gonna say with John Goodman and as the Cyclops, and then what is the Cyclops' name in the Odyssey? It's like Polyphemus, or
Polyphemus.
yeah, Polyphemus. Um, Thinking about those scenes compared to each other, they actually are almost the exact same scene from him devouring John Goodman devouring the chicken and
Mm-hmm.
like breaking the bones and spitting it out to him finding the frog and crushing the frog and hucking it
Mm-hmm.
against a tree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost the exact same. I mean, obviously they're in a cave and but it's that's him devouring Odysseus's men essentially.
Yeah.
And when I saw the movie, I was like, they did a really damn good job. The Coen brothers actually with some of the Odyssey stuff, like how it played. Um, but yeah, I agree. Talk about a scene that scene is so uncomfortable in the movie and scary, and yeah,
Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about
Let's
this
yeah, let's
fucking
do it.
movie. So, okay. So yeah, so we start off and this is much like the actual Odyssey. It's told in a non-linear fashion. It jumps in time between Odysseus telling his story of what happened post Troy up to the moment where he meets up with Calypso, and then also going back to Telemachus. Like that's straight from the original, or whatever. I'm going to call it the original, but the most recent, most accepted tellings of the Odyssey is this non-linear storytelling, which I thought was super cool. And yeah, um they are doing the Trojan horse thing, which they'll get more into later on. And the first island that he goes to is the Cyclops, and like, I mean, we've already got a spot that that like could very well be the scene of the movie. You know what I mean? Like, that is the most unnerving movie monster that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And
mm-hmm.
maybe it's
yep,
the practical effects of it all, but like, holy shit, dude, that guy is terrifying. And speaking of the sound and the you know, Jesus Christ, what's anyone saying? When that dude, when that Cyclops takes a hot poker to the eye, that is a visceral moment. How about it?
yeah, yeah. I agree. I mean, and it's you said it as well. I mean, it's terrifying, and the lighting in that scene is so good. And I mean, that the cave they filmed it in is an actual cave that Greek sailors would like have been using forever to like hide out in and during storms. And um yeah, I mean, it's so. And I think for me, what was scariest about it is like he is not using that. He's not like, oh, I'm just going to kill all of you for being in here with my sheep. It's like, oh, I have a source of food now. You've
Literally.
wandered in here, and I think one of the soldiers says something like, well, do you concern yourself with with ants?
Yeah. Right.
Like,
Mm.
and it's
Mhm.
like, yeah, we're essentially just like a pest that has wandered in, and he's like, well, you taste good,
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, your
Yeah.
armor's a bit tough, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that might be after they poke him in the eye, and he's like later on, he's like kind of like like almost like a child, like, just like kind of rocking, like, or he's like crying to himself, and he's like speaking, and like what he's saying, like it's unclear, but like, yeah, like I didn't know he could speak, like, maybe we
Yeah.
should reason with it. And I think that's when Odysseus says, like, well, I think we're way past that. But yeah, like that, I mean, that whole sequence, like, yeah, to like, it's just very unnerving, like as soon as they like enter the cave, like you got the flies buzzing around, there's the wall of bagged cheese. They
Oh
keep
yeah.
like looking like up, and it's like they're you can't quite see, but it looks like maybe like some markings on like the top of the cave, and then like how high like some of the cheese bags are. It's like, huh, that's like Odysseus is like, oh, there's certainly a lot of cheese, kind of thing. But it's like,
Yeah.
they certainly ramp up the
Cheese.
dread. And then, you know like, it's not like, there certainly are a couple of like big like jump scare kind of moments within that sequence, but the actual reveal of the Cyclops is as easy as just him like walking into the cave and then seeing like the soldiers, like, oh shit, like, that's a goddamn
Oh my God.
Cyclops. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no. Oh no, what have we done?
Yeah.
What have we done?
Yeah. And he's laying there, like you said, he's rocking back and forth, and he's crying out to his father, Poseidon.
Yep.
Oh, Daddy, they hurt me,
Yeah.
um, and then I mean, Odysseus, come on, man! Like, this also is a movie of like, dude, you're the brilliant strategist, whatever. What do you're letting your emotions get the best of you here?
Yes.
You're
It's
free and
Yes.
clear, and you're gonna take a pot shot at him one more time.
Well, this is, what's so funny is this is sort of Nolan's way of still keeping with the story of the Odyssey, because in the original Odyssey, they poke out Polyphemus's eye, but Odysseus calls himself nobody. Like, they do converse and they talk a little bit, and Odysseus says, "Hey, my name is nobody." And so when they stab him in the eye, the Cyclops is yelling out, "Hey, nobody, just stab him in the eye." And the other Cyclops is on the island, all right, cool. Well, then I guess we're just gonna go back to sleep because, like, you're fine then. Like, that's the whole thing, is he's yelling nobody stabbed me, nobody stabbed me. Like, all right, whatever. And then when they're leaving the island, much like in this movie, when they're leaving and he's like, "Curse you, like, whoever you are," Odysseus is like, "Hey, I just want you to know my name is actually Odysseus. Like, this was me." And that is what allows the Cyclops to curse Odysseus's crew in particular, and Poseidon rains down all kinds of hellish trauma on them, right, for the rest of the story.
Mhm.
And so Nolan obviously goes away from the nobody thing, but he does still take the
Yeah,
time to kind of show Odysseus is kind of a dick. Like, Odysseus is not perfect. He's super prideful, and he's like, I overcame, like, my ingenuity overcame this horrendous, awful Cyclops. Like, let me still get my shit in real quick. Ka-chow.
yeah,
Like, and all of
yeah,
us in the theater are like, fucking why? Like, what are you
yeah,
doing? Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
It was like the whole audience had a visceral reaction to that. Like, was like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing?"
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he thinks he's hot shit. He ended that 10-year war with his cleverness, basically. And I mean, this movie, right, and the story, obviously, of the Odyssey is him just being humbled and humbled and humbled
Mhm.
and taking loss after loss after loss. Which I that's something that towards the end of this I really want to talk about, because my favorite aspect of the movie, it revolves around that. So
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
they keep going, and they run into, as if one giant fucker wasn't enough, they then land on their next island and run into the Lystrigonians. And,
Oh.
dude, Justin, talk about them.
Dude, yeah, like that again, another like very unnerving scene. Like they just had this, like, their first pit stop essentially on the voyage home is like running into the Cyclops cave and then barely making it out of there. And so it's like, all right, well, that didn't work out. On to the next one. Like, it's really like a road movie, like, where series of unfortunate
It's a road
events.
trip movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just various, like, stopping at various like Bucky's and like running into all sorts of all sorts of crazy people there, like you do. But yeah, so again, like they're walking through this forest, they run into like a cloaked figure who is, and maybe you guys know a little more about it, but just a giant child
Yeah.
that is very creepy looking, and just immediately starts like laughing at them because they're hungry. They say that they're looking for food, and you know, that kind of thing. And it just starts laughing at them and running away. And then out from the forest, these, yeah, what are they called? I will never pronounce it correctly. The
The
Lystragonians.
Lystragonians. Yeah, you got it.
Man. And
The
so,
Listerine.
yeah, the Listerines. But yeah, so that, like that, see, this sequence in particular, I want to find out like how they did it. I'm imagining it's like huge, like bodysuits and like stilts, or they just found some like really huge dudes. They found like an actual island with giant 9 foot tall men that wear armor.
Apparently, Anne Hathaway said that she was like chilling out on set while they were shooting that. And it's a combination of everything you just said and then also forced perspective. And she said that she still isn't 100% sure how they managed to pull it off in the movie.
Yeah,
Like she was
that's
on
cool.
set, watched it happen, and was like, I honestly don't even get how that worked out that way. Christopher Nolan and his team are like geniuses. Very cool little piece of production trivia for you. Keep going, Justin.
Yeah, no, I'd love to see the behind the scenes on that. Yeah, that was my first thought, was like doing some Lord of the Rings like forced perspective stuff, probably. But pretty fucking terrifying and harrowing, because like there's no like talking to these, I don't know if you call them monsters or whatever.
They're
They're,
cannibals.
yeah, they're just chilling on their island, no talking, no reasoning. Like they just like start going at them, and like the some get trapped like in like little, what seem to be like kind of tree cages, uh and man, it's a bad day. It's a bad day to be on
It's a very
Odysseus's
bad day.
crew. um the is, as they even like run to the beach and make it to like their boats, and they're trying to launch offshore, uh they take down like two of the boats, and it's just terrifying to watch as they're just like chopping it like it's nothing. They're like rowing it back and forth, tipping it over, like destroying and killing all these soldiers.
Which I thought
Like,
that was one of the most like harrowing scenes in the movie. I don't even know why. I guess it's like because the boats are safety. Like, okay, you got in the boat, you got off the island, like you're safe now. And it's like, no, like you got in this boat, and here is Odysseus looking back, and all of his guys, like you said, like they're being like hacked to pieces in their boats. Like they made it, they got off the island, but no, it's you're still not safe. You're being dragged off of the fucking boats by these horrible monsters. Like, oh, dude,
Yeah,
oh man,
they made it
grisly
to
stuff.
base, and then the Listragonians didn't abide
Exactly,
by the basic rules of tag. I'm on base. Uh,
exactly.
yeah, I know
right.
in the actual story too. They destroyed 12 of his ships. And so in this movie, that was something
Yes.
I actually
Yep.
really liked about the movie, was that his crew was a lot smaller.
Hmm.
Because 12, I mean, it was already a lot of, they already had a lot of soldiers and a lot of crew members. But for there to be 12 ships worth of people, like that would be, I mean,
Yeah.
he just, yeah, I think it was, for me, it felt more impactful that I think 12 would be overwhelming, and the amount that he had felt so like, because it's just his one ship that survives,
Mhm.
and they only kill one of them, and uh, if there had been a moment where I was like, okay, they used CGI here, I thought it was that part. I
Sure.
thought that it would have been because of how big they were to
Hmm.
everything. But I think you guys
And
nailed it.
it's
I think it's yeah, it's terrifying, but also one of the best action pieces of the movie
and
too.
it is crazy that that's their, well, I guess so technically it's their third stop on the voyage home, because their first stop is at that village where, immediately after leaving Troy, when the Himesh Patel characters, like, we're not going to follow Agamemnon, and you know, Odysseus is more like, we'll see some of the world, and who knows, maybe we'll get back to, you know, get back home before Agamemnon. And so they go off, they go separately than um, where Agamemnon goes, and um, um, yeah, that'll kind of come more into it later. But their first stop is that it's there's no monsters. It's like just a seaside community that essentially just burns their own village as they see them approaching, and like,
Yeah.
you know, ask, like, when they're on there, he's like, the Himesh Patel character again. He's like, we're Greeks. We're not here to hurt you. We're just, we're looking for, like, food. Like, and not, like, why did you do this? And is yeah, like, it's kind of setting into motion the story, the kind of through line of the people from the sea, who have been attacking these civilizations, and like these rumors that are swirling, as we see when we go back to Ithaca, where Penelope is hosting all her suitors, and she wants word from, like, any of these strangers, that, travelers that might be coming into her home. Yeah, so that moment on that first island, it kind of sets into motion that through line. It also kind of talks about another important through line, which we haven't really talked about yet, is the Zeus's law. So
Yep.
you invite people in, you treat strangers as you would want to be, and I'm paraphrasing here, you treat strangers as you would want to be treated, in the off chance they are a god in disguise. um, that's kind of been the way civilization has been built, um, in this story, and we kind of see, like, throughout the moments, how that is being broken, and in some cases just completely, like, shattered. um,
Yeah, I I love the you mentioned something here that I thought was really interesting. I looked more into this because I was curious about if the people of the sea are in the original Odyssey.
mhm.
And do you guys know about the people from the sea? Like, do you know about the
Sea
historical
peoples are
stuff?
so
It's
fascinating.
like like an actual theory, right? Because, like, all these civilizations in, like, the Mediterranean, right? Like,
Yep,
just,
yep. Egypt,
yeah,
Mediterranean.
just all, like,
Yeah,
crumbled around, like, the same time.
yeah. So there was a marauding force that was either mercenaries or different armies that weren't connected, but essentially, essentially to this day, we still don't know who they were. And they just kept saying they're these people from the sea who show up and just burn villages and sack towns,
Hmm.
and there's all kinds of theories about it. And so I thought that was really, as soon as they said that, I was like, is that what they're talking about? And yeah, it's this dread, which, is I think the people of the sea or whatever, is okay. So the people of the sea, is that the Greeks who were coming home? Were
Hmm.
they raiding villages? Were they taking things? Was the fear spreading that it was the Greeks after their blood was hot from, which is, well, a great moment in the movie, from being trapped outside of the Troy walls for 10 years? Or is it really they're just talking about the collapse of society? This is the
Hmm.
collapse of the oncoming doom of society. Which, I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up, Justin, because I thought as soon as they said that, it just
Hmm.
triggered some moment in my brain from being some dumb history nerd growing up of like, oh, hey, wait a minute, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So, yeah,
Yes. So yeah, like, so, but it's crazy that, yeah. So, like, as far as, like the whatever you want to call them, the monsters that they encounter on these various islands, that the Lystragonians are, like, the second, uh, you know, I guess, iteration of some sort of monstrous stop that they have, and they literally, like, wipe out, like, 2/3 of Odysseus's crew,
yep, yep.
like they're nothing. Um,
The
what did you
stakes are
feel
high.
about? Yeah, man, like, they've never been higher. Um,
Yeah.
what did you feel about this part, Mac? Dude,
Thought
we
it
were
was
talking
fucking
about that.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was horrible. I thought it was awful and horrible. I was like, like, yeah, again, right? Like, so they just got done with this horrendous fucking nightmare creature, the Cyclops. They barely get away. And then, yeah, like, just, and you mentioned the, like, tree traps. So I didn't necessarily get this in the movie when I first watched it. But supposedly, if you watch that scene, check this out. The next time you see this movie, brothers, like, I guess the trees are kind of turning on the soldiers as well.
Oh.
Like, I guess the forest is kind of alive and like creating these cages
Yes.
in
Yep.
allyship with the Leicester. Pip, you noticed this?
Yeah, I thought that the Lystragonians were controlling it because I mean, there was a point where one of them kind of gestures, and it's like I thought that they were using magic, so to speak, to capture them. Yeah, I noticed that too because it was moving in front of them, right, and it was walling them off, and then they start stabbing them through it, and yeah,
Horrendous.
Well,
Horrendous stuff. Yeah.
scary.
it is a time of apparent magic, as we see on the title card.
It is a time of apparent magic.
But
That's
man,
right.
fuck this island then, because
Yeah.
then they decide to go around to the other side of it,
Oh man.
and that's where
And
they
this,
pull into port for
well,
go for
this
it, Mac.
man. I mean, you talk about like this movie's got something for everybody. There's romance, there is danger, there is adventure, there is fucking body horror, dude.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god. So, like, first of all, like, I mean, there's a million amazing acting performances like in this movie. Like, everybody plays the shit out of the person that they play. Like, really and truly, it's one of the greatest like ensemble acting jobs that I can remember seeing, like, personally, maybe ever. Like, it's unbelievable stuff, right,
Yep.
from top to bottom.
Yep.
But special shout out in this scene to our girl Samantha Morton, man. Oh my
Hell yeah.
goodness. Holy shit. She is so scary. She is so like, and Justin, you and I talked about this last night when we saw the movie, like the eating and like just the visceral.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep using the word visceral. Like, oh, dude, it's
it's so
horrible. Like,
gross.
Pip's. You guys can't see this because it's an audio podcast, but like Pip is like squinching his face, man. Like, it's terrible stuff. Like,
It's
just them going animalistic and like really tearing into their food, and then she comes up and like fucking smashes their faces around and is like breaking bones and is like turning them into these pigs. And it's like, it's again, man, like one of the most unsettling things I've seen in a movie theater in a super long time. Like, I was like, this is horrible stuff happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Which meant it was fucking awesome.
Yeah. It was absolutely awesome. But yes, very, very upsetting. Like, just, I mean, as soon as like they're gathered around the table and they're like, yeah, they are chowing down, like, but not in like I am famished. It's like in a like I cannot stop eating. Like I
Yeah.
may actually like there you could see on some of their faces like through performance, like I kind of want to stop eating, but I'm just going to keep
can't.
eating because like I'm just compelled to. And then yeah, like the as soon as like she starts like yeah, like molding these pig people, it's oh man, it was so unsettling to watch and so gross, so very gross.
What were they eating? What do you think?
Oh
I
man,
think it was intense,
yeah, it something grody.
like stomach lining.
Yeah, like it was the worst fucking looking thing
God.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I've
Seriously.
seen cooked jellyfish look like that. It was
Oh,
like, and it just kept going, and it just kept
Yeah.
going. And yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I love what you said there about the acting performances because I talked to my wife afterwards of like everybody was like, I'm not going to be outdone. I'm going to bring
yeah,
everything I
it's true.
have to it. To the point where there was moments where the dialogue I was like, this feels very like high like play level, like the way they're delivering it almost felt very kind of like the cadences at which
That's a great call.
or the way that they speak to Shakespeare in his plays. But that scene, absolutely. I was wondering if they were going to go full on and do it because I knew that was part of it. Is that his men get turned into pigs, but it was way more gross and visceral than I could have ever imagined they would do there. So
Yeah.
Good for them.
Right.
For me, it was the ears. I don't know why, but the part with the
Oh
ear,
man.
especially where she's like stretching the ear out and
Yeah.
like breaking the cartilage, it was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
The poor
It
guys are just
was
hungry.
just awful.
They're just hungry.
And so
This is a
yeah.
real like. Do it, Justin. It's all yours.
No, yeah. I was just like it. So this was like Cersei doing like a violation of Zeus's law, like in that she's essentially tricking these guys, offering them food, but with the end goal of to turn them into pig people. And we find out that obviously, because as they're walking up to this this cabin, like they encounter like a lion, they encounter like a panther, like a
And
tiger.
leopard.
They're just like
Yeah.
chilling. They're not like it's just like walking past them, and it's like, that's funny. And then before they start their trek up to the cabin, that's when they tell Odysseus to stay behind, because at this point they're already like sick of his shit. Like they're like, you offended Poseidon. Odysseus is like, is this a mutiny? And Himesh has the great line like, that's up to you. And so he goes off hunting, as they can go and explore the island without him, because they've lost all trust in him. But I did have a laugh when Cersei first invites them in and wants to feed them, and she's like, well, you have to please take your armor and your weapons, put them out back. And they're being good soldiers, they're being good guests, they do that. And you see like just scattered around her yard is just like very old weapons and armor, and
Yeah,
they're
and
kind of like,
shields
This is
and
probably
yeah,
nothing to
they
worry
kind of
about.
like give a look like, oh, that's weird. Anyway, I'm hungry.
surely everything's fine.
Yeah,
And then we also
it's
get
no big
the maybe the only like nudity in the movie, right? Because I know it's like an R-rated movie, and it's Odysseus when he figures this out, killing that deer,
deal. Mhm.
and it's just a naked dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did think for a good minute there that he was going to eat one of his men. He comes up and she's trying to get him, and she's like, "Yeah, choose one of them to slaughter." And when they're beating down the door, and like I'm like, the anxiety level that was inducing on me.
Yes.
Pig
Oh, man.
screaming and beating down the door, and yeah, Cersei
Yeah.
sucked. She was awesome. Fuck her. Not cool, man.
Not
It-
cool.
I thought it was interesting, like,
Yeah.
yeah, like Cersei, yeah, like she was obviously a witch, and she obviously like played a dirty trick on them. For it seems like that's been her want to do. I mean, her sister is a crow, and she explains that like when Odysseus finally meets her and like figures out the game, and like he wants to know what happened to his men, so he says, I'll throttle this bird, it's clearly somebody important to you. And she's very scared that he'll actually do that. And she's in talking to her, she finds out it's his sister, and it's just better this way. They get along better when her sister's a crow. So
Yes.
I like that part of it. But like with both Cersei and even with Charlize Theron's Calypso, like they're not like, there's never like a cackling like I'll get you, my pretty, kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
like you can kind of sympathize with
Yes.
them and
Yeah.
their positions, their point of views. So I really liked that decision with those portrayals there. But
Well,
Samantha
she
Morton,
even says, like, shame on you for leaving me alone with your, ravaged, hungry men.
yeah,
Like, what do you think they were going to do to me? And,
yeah,
and even start off by saying, like, Himesh chases her down, and he's like, we have no intention. We're just hungry.
yeah,
Not going to hurt you. We're not going
Yeah.
to do anything. And it's this, like, kind of theme throughout the movie that they are the good guys, right? We're good guys. We're the good guys. We're not going to hurt you, village. You don't need to burn. Cersei, you don't have to run in fear from
Yeah.
us.
Well, it's the same thing as that first village. Like, well,
Yep, exactly.
you were going to do it anyway, so we just did it for you, kind of thing. We burned our village down. So, but yeah,
So they figured that out.
yeah. So don't
So-
eat that stew.
Yeah,
It's
don't eat that stomach stew.
Mhm.
Ugh.
dude, horrendous. And I love the idea of like we're the good guys because we're gonna keep going and we're gonna eventually run into one of my favorite like plot moments of the entire movie and maybe of any movie ever. But we'll get to that here in a little bit
Mhm.
because as we keep going in Odysseus' journey, we also got to throw back to the guys he's left behind, man. And it's he's the guy that we follow, but as y'all mentioned, there's dudes dying left and right, and everything is kind of falling apart around him, and he is finally kind of faced with that when he goes to Hades, right? And there's an
Yeah,
amazing scene.
yeah.
How about it, man? When he goes to Hades and he finally has to meet face to face like his mistakes. Pip, talk about Hades, man. Talk about this whole
Man,
scene.
yeah, no, great call out there. Is it Cersei who tells him
Yeah, Cersei
Yeah,
about
tells
going
him.
to
Cersei kind of
Hades?
Yeah,
explains,
Yeah, yeah. So
hey, here's what
she
you're gonna have
gives
to
him the
deal with over the
prophecy.
next
yeah.
few.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you go to Hades, which they were like, I know when they were making this movie, how do we get to the place that's the least like the Mediterranean? So they go to like Iceland. They
Mhm.
film up in Iceland to have this desolate kind of black beach,
Christopher
and they're in
Nolan filming in
Hades.
Iceland. What?
Yeah, right.
Whoa. First time
Uh,
ever.
so it's such a good representation of this. Like it feels so otherworldly at the same time, like feeling like it. I mean, honestly, it kind of reminded me of like Pirates of the Caribbean, where he goes to the far side of the world, where it's
That's a
like
great call.
it's a
Yeah, that's
possible.
awesome.
That's absolutely a possible thing that could happen. You could flip your boat and suddenly you're in the upside down or whatever. But they buried all these all these soldiers rise up out of the sand to talk to him essentially, right? And Elliot Page's character is there to who only has I read there's all this controversy about Elliot Page obviously, and I'm not going to give any more time to this than necessary. Um, but he only has 5% of the movie or less is in this movie and has
Mm-hmm.
one of the best performances in the entire goddamn
Facts.
movie. Talking to
Facts.
Odysseus, and Rob Pat's character, and just like he's scumbag and just all this stuff, which will come up later on when we talk more about what's going on in Ithaca. But they deal with the here's the prophecy of where we're at, what we're doing. Agamemnon is there too, saying, go home in disguise because when I went home, shit went really bad for me, which earlier in the movie is hinted at with his brother and Tom Holland. But they they have all these soldiers like in the sand, and they rise up out of the sand. It's like these are all your soldiers that you left behind, because there's a big thing about how we didn't bury their bodies with the Cyclops and with the Listerinians, and and they buried all of these people in that movie. And what I mean by they rose up out of the sand, human beings came up out of the sand. It was not like ghostly CGI. They were like full armor, fucking getting buried, and you're gonna rise up out of the sand. And we can only do this so many times because it's a pain in the ass to shoot this scene. So you better do it. So you better nail it. And
Mm-hmm.
God, did they nail it? It is such a great scene. One of my favorites of the movie by far. Very
It is
close.
so fucking good, dude. And there, right, Odysseus gets to kind of get, smartened up to what the future's going to hold for him. And this is kind of where we really, again, like Matt Damon, Odysseus is like falling, and you talk about being humbled. Like he just keeps being humbled and humbled and humbled and humbled and humbled. And it continues here when he talks to Tiresias, the shade, who explains, he's like, hey, man, like, you're going to be the only one that survives. And you can bash your head against the wall all you want, and you can fight against it and wail against it all you want, but that's what's going to happen here, is you are going to be the only person that survives. And he kind of smartens him up to what the next few, perils are going to be. And Justin shit continues to hit the fan, don't it?
Yeah. Um, no. This may be, like Pip said, like this may be my favorite sequence in the entire movie is this trip to the underworld. Um, I think it is um one of the big emotional plot points for Odysseus to kind of um, make that turn where you're saying at this point he's being humbled and humbled and humbled. He's still kind of remaining arrogant, still trying to right the ship and get his crew home, who are increasingly just becoming so sick of his shit. He's offended Poseidon, and it's they don't want to do what he wants to do anymore. And it all starts as we kind of get later on with his main realization, but it does a big chunk of what starts this journey is the betrayal of is it Sinan,
Yeah.
who is Elliot
Sinan,
Page,
yeah.
Elliot
who
Pages. Yeah.
yeah, who is in the leaving of the Trojan horse as this gift to Troy to mark the end of the war. They have Odysseus makes the decision not to leave Sinan behind and not tell him the plan, so that he can believably tell the the soldiers of Troy that this was left as a gift. Kind of like plausible deniability. Like, if I don't tell you
Yep. Yep.
what we're gonna do, then you can't, through accident or whatever, tell them what the actual plan is. But it's a betrayal, and Sinan dies for that, and that's
Yeah, at
what
the beginning
Sinan.
of the movie.
Yeah, this happens like in the first 10 minutes after we.
Yeah, I mean, that was
which first off, shouts out to Travis Scott and his beautiful veneers.
Shouts out. Shouts out.
he's
Great.
a great
Yeah.
sage.
Yeah. No, he was. Yeah, that was great. But yeah, like, I think the very next scene is literally Sinan sitting on the beach with the Trojan horse as the soldiers from Troy like approach. So it's a great betrayal. Sinan, who is like a stable boy to, is it to Odysseus or is it to Antinous, like Antinous' family?
It's
Because
It's to Robert Pattinson, yeah.
yeah, Robert Pattinson. So
And his dad is a shepherd.
yeah, and so Sinan takes Robert Pattinson. So in Agamemnon's war against Troy, which was uh, Helen was the excuse, being kidnapped. I think being kidnapped and held by the Prince of Troy or something like that.
Kidnapped her, left willingly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
false
so
flag.
she total false flag, like inside job. But it's
Yeah.
really just Agamemnon wanting control of like these trade routes and stuff like that. And so, like, it's I forget, I'm losing my train of thought here. I was talking about so in Agamemnon wanting to, like, raise this army, Odysseus decides to have a lottery, rather than conscripting everybody to join this army. So he has a lottery. Antinous, a young Antinous, the Robert Pattinson character, swaps, like, kind of tricks Sinan into taking his place, because Robert Pattinson in this is a coward. He's a very good coward. And so Sinan takes his place and is kind of serving with Odysseus. And so
Yeah.
for that it to go down like that, and then for Odysseus to ultimately betray and like use Sinan in that fashion it's just awful. And that's the point of what Sinan tells him in Hades. And to give Antinous, if you see Antinous again, give him back my shame, or give him back his shame, which is great.
And it's even more than that too, because Odysseus kind of knows what happened there.
Yeah.
During this, because I know that there's something about Antonin wanted to go with Odysseus, and he's like, "No, I don't want you to come with me," and kind of thing. But throughout the 10 years that they're outside the walls of Troy, which, I mean, Jesus Christ, 10 years on a beach, like
on this fucking
beach, but
on
like
this fucking beach,
on this fucking beach where people are just getting massacred constantly, or you're just waiting. Sinan is like his right hand guy. He's bringing him up, he's teaching him, and he just essentially becomes like his son, so to speak. So it's even more like the betrayal is even deeper, because
Yeah.
didn't trust me enough to train. And he's like, no, I trusted you so much that I didn't tell you because I knew you would be the one to sell it.
Yeah.
But,
And
I didn't
so,
know that you were going to get murdered
right.
right in front of me.
And so,
Which that's
yeah.
part of the thing they talk about is they mention a couple times in the movie that like sacrifice is weighed against how much the person making the sacrifice feels about it, which they
Yeah.
touch on with Agamemnon, you know what I mean? And him
Mhm.
sacrificing his daughter for
Oh,
fair
dude.
wins, you know what I mean? Like Jesus, like it's
Yeah.
grisly stuff, man, going on here. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
So, do you want to touch on the Trojan horse? I mean, it's such a big.
We should probably, get into that, shouldn't
So,
we?
Is this
yeah.
a good time or should? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Because at this point, I think, so Penelope is hosting all these all these potential suitors, because Ithaca's without its king. So all these suitors have shown up there, and Zeus's law, they have to be good hosts. They're letting them eat all their food, drink their wine, and stuff like that. But they're growing increasingly impatient because it's been 20 years, and Penelope has not chosen like another suitor to be on the throne. And Odysseus' son, Tom Holland, Telemachus.
That's right, Telemachus, you got it.
Yeah, hey,
Got it. One.
Greek major right here. Got one. So Telemachus decides to travel to get news, to see if he can find out any information on the whereabouts of his father, and that's when he comes to the John Bernthal. Let me tell you something. All right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
John
Yeah.
Bernthal.
John
Sparta.
Bernthal, who is Agamemnon's brother, who
That's
is
right.
married to Helen. Agamemnon
That's right.
is married to Clytemnestra, who is
Look at you.
Helen's.
Killing it.
Dude, I got this. Greek major right here. But
I know you are.
Clytemnestra is Helen's twin sister. And yes, Agamemnon, to get fair winds for the journey to Troy, Agamemnon sacrifices their daughter in a very upsetting scene.
Throws her off a cliff.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully, we don't. Speaking of throwing things off a cliff, we do have to.
I was wondering if you were going to talk about this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Within the first 10 minutes of this movie, sorry to all our, like, we're playing Sarah McLachlan music right now, In the Arms of an Angel.
I'll put it in. I'll put it in post.
Once we start making money, we'll make the proper donations.
Yes. In the first 10 minutes of this fucking thing, we see a puppy murder. And we see the sparing of one puppy by Odysseus, who we learn to find is Argus, his loyal dog, who factors into this movie greatly.
Yes, he does.
And he's been a loyal dog for 20 years, just waiting for his master, being treated very poorly by these suitors. They've been very unkind to Mr. Argus, and I don't appreciate it.
20-something years old. He's over 20 years old. He's
an old boy. He's an old good boy.
There's a couple of things. I have a bone to pick really quick. If we could just take a quick minute here with Mr. John Bernthal. Maybe the next thing I watch you in, don't murder a dog in the first 10 minutes.
Weird. It's 2 for 2. What's that about?
Yeah, like, come on, man. I turned off Punisher: The Last Kill and had to watch it the next day because the first 5 minutes of that movie special made me so upset. If you haven't seen it, maybe look up what happens and just close your eyes because it's fucked up. And then so anyways, yes. So our boy Telemachus goes off to the king of Sparta. Yeah, and you know what's crazy too? When he's there, I didn't realize this at the time, but I remember it now. Helen's face is all scarred up.
Mm-hmm.
The face that launched 1,000 ships.
Yeah. And I think that's not from the Odyssey. That was a choice Nolan made, right?
Yeah, like she was punished.
Yeah, and it's not only that, either punished by John Bernthal, so that maybe making her less desirable, in the face of some ancient Greek dude, or
Paris.
Whatever. But it serves as that punishment for her, but also it does show like it is a nice not nice, but is a visual representation of essentially like, you know, the scars of this war. Like, you know, not to get too obvious with it there, but um, yeah, I thought,
No one's safe. Nobody is safe at all.
yeah, I thought that was kind of a nice. Again, I'm using the word nice, but it's not. It's not nice,
Nice.
but it is like a. No, it's anything but nice. Like even, you know, especially like Agamemnon throwing his daughter off the cliff.
Ugh,
You know, we don't. Thankfully,
tough.
like we don't see that actually. We do see the puppy murder, but we don't see the daughter. But
Hmm.
it does set into motion like Agamemnon's, you know, ultimate fate. Like his wife Clytemnestra never,
Yeah.
understandably, never would get over that. And we'll
Well, and
see
there,
as he returns,
yeah,
which
and
which
when
I think, yeah, which I think that part comes after the part we're talking about now, where John Bernthal kind of gives his point of view on the Trojan horse, right?
yes, yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
does, and the whole time too, Helen is goading. She's just poking John Bernthal of like, what
Mm-hmm.
happened to your brother? What happened to your brother? Tell him about what happened to King Agamemnon when he
Mm-hmm.
returned home. Like, what was the waiting for him? Don't wish people to just return home. But yeah, then he's talking to uh, Tom Holland, and he's like, I know you know the story of the horse, right? Which is Travis Scott's story that he seems to tell
Mm-hmm.
almost every night. Let me tell you what it was really like.
Let me
And
tell you something. Let me
let
tell
me
you
tell you
something.
something.
Let me tell you something.
And then
Wow.
you get in, then it goes into the story of the actual Trojan horse and what it was like to be inside that fucking horse. And the fact that Christopher Nolan was like, I don't want this horse to have wheels.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be a
Yeah.
believable thing that somebody could
Yes.
have put together.
Yep.
So we're gonna actually leave it in the on the beach for it to sink into the surf and to fill with water and like have all this stuff. And then you know what? You want to be in a Christopher Nolan movie? Guess what? You're gonna haul a giant ass fucking horse logs
Literally.
across the fucking beach
Literally.
in
Oh man,
Morocco in the hot weather. But you get to be in a Christopher Nolan movie, but you have to
that's
move
right.
Worth
things
it.
like the ancient Egyptians did. So
Wow.
Worth it.
fuck you
Yeah.
guys.
And yeah, like
Man, oh
I mean,
man. It's crazy. Like, you think about the Trojan horse as like this
mhm.
awesome, feat of deception and ingenuity, and like, oh man, like that's one of the coolest things ever. And Christopher Nolan makes sure that you understand it is not cool.
No, it
It
was
Yeah,
is
fucked up.
not a good place to
No.
be.
yeah.
Terrible.
Well, and they also
Do not
really
be at the
make
bottom. Do not be at
no.
the bottom.
Yeah, he's talking about all the excrement from the waste from their
Yeah,
bodies because they were in there for days, and how some
yeah,
people were drowning in there, and then they were trapped in the horse with drowning like the dead bodies. It's
yeah.
like a World War I trench. Like it's not a place you want to be. Like that
No,
sounds
literally.
awful,
Horrendous.
awful
Hmm.
way to go. Yeah, and
Super
he
small
Yeah.
also
thing I thought was
yeah yeah
awesome. I loved, and I bet you, Pip, you were going to call this out too. Small thing that I loved, and like we don't have to get into necessarily as part of the movie because this is kind of, I guess it's what it's building to. When they get the horse in the city and they all get out of the horse, the Greeks are getting out of the horse. Did you notice that they had a hard time moving around at first?
Hmm.
And it took
yes
them a couple of steps to get. That's fucking awesome. I
Yeah.
just thought that was great. That little attention to detail. That is Christopher Nolan's shit. Like how it
yeah.
takes Odysseus and Menelaus time to kind of get their bearings and like get their legs moving again after days in these horrible fucked up positions. It's just little things like that I just thought were brilliant.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm glad
Def-
you called that out, Matt,
yeah.
because somebody who had just, had surgery and been laying around, when I saw that, I
Yeah,
was like,
right?
same, man. Same,
Yeah.
Yeah.
bro. I can't move my ankle. Like, I feel you.
I'm good. Yeah,
But
I'm
back
gonna
to
need
what you
like
said.
I'm gonna need 5 after that. I gotta do
Yeah.
some
Oh, I got to
Yeah, yeah,
limber
calisthenics.
up here
totally.
for a moment. You guys okay with a little downward dog here for a second?
Yeah.
I loved what you pointed out there, Matt, because this was the big impact for me of this movie. The fall of Troy is my favorite part of the movie because of like the big implications that it has, the resounding ripple effect it has throughout the movie. Of he made sure that you also knew that what they did was fucked up.
Hmm.
It's that going back to that violation of Zeus's law thing again. you left us a gift, and it was a gift of peace. And what did that turn into? It turned into, the fall of our city, the ending of this war, and the absolute destruction of everything. Basically, right? It became like an apocalyptic scenario. Such a great, well done scene, visually, like insane how they did it. But
And that's what I really love about like it's they're kind of like twin sequences. So when he's talking to John Bernthal, and he's telling him the story of the horse, like from his point of view, like we only see like the sacking of Troy up until they get the gates open and Agamemnon's army comes in, and that whole moment, like when they're like, man, fucking open the gates for crying out loud,
yeah,
like
Tell you
they
what, man.
that
Swear to
was a
God, guys.
struggle, and like the soldiers of Troy are like, getting more and more, and they're coming quicker. Man, talk and oh man, this I think this might be the first time that Ludwig is like just going off with the drums, and it's oh man, it is a heart pounding sequence. But so pair that with, and jumping ahead like to
that's okay.
the
Yeah, I think it's
end,
good.
yeah. But you hit on it. I think the last part, um, the twin sequence where they actually show like once the
Yes.
army is in there, this was definitely the most, it's the emotional high point. Like for me, this was the part where I was like trying to keep it together, be strong for Mac, like not show him like I'm a vulnerable man, because it was very effective. Like because you're pairing like the sacking of Troy, and you see not only is it like the army is like killing like the soldiers, but they're also like killing civilians. They're raping, they're pillaging, setting fire to everything, and you see the second half. You see it through the eyes of Odysseus, and as he's recounting this to Penelope. So he's recounting this part when he finally returns, and he's disguised as
In
a beggar,
disguise, yeah.
and Penelope wants to speak to him because that's Zeus's law. She wants to hear travels, stories of the road and the world, find out anything she might about her beloved Odysseus. And so he's speaking to her, but not revealing like he is Odysseus, but he's telling the story of what Odysseus might be feeling, why it's been so long. And I found this second showing of the sacking of Troy to be so effective. Um,
Totally agree.
One of the through lines has been like the representation of Athena, who would show up at various points throughout the story. Zendaya, like next to Odysseus, kind of like, giving him a look, like shaking her head, like telling him, like, is this what you really want? Like, is this what you're going to be doing? But then to see like as he's watching like all this carnage happen in what was lost with the Trojan horse, this dirty trick that broke Zeus's law, that caused them to get in there and basically destroy Troy, destroy civilization, but also to see like that moment when it's revealed that Zendaya is just just a civilian girl in Troy who gets beheaded,
Yes.
and so Athena is essentially using this girl's face as kind of a representation of Odysseus' guilt, ultimate guilt. Like that moment, like it. I mean, it's crushing to see that as he's recounting this to Penelope. Athena then appears to him again, and she's understandably crying, and it's just it was the most emotional like moment I've had in a movie in a while, and
Yeah.
like I just thought it was beautifully done. And so to have that dichotomy of John Bernthal's like telling it like this was such a it was very it was very cunning, and we did it, we got the we survived the horse, we got the army in there, and then to see like what that ultimately means. We did this in the name of an unjust war,
Yeah.
killing innocent lives, ruining the world that we've created. um yeah, that it fucking got me big time.
Absolutely.
I said this to Justin last night, but I was like, the reframing of the Trojan horse, which we've all since birth have been told is the most incredible act of cunning and like, oh, it's the ingenuity of people and it's so clever, clever Odysseus. Like, oh, and don't worry, the good Greeks beat the evil Trojans. And like, we've been told that story since we were like literal babies. And reframing that not only is an act of like, oh man, this led to a lot of bad shit, but in itself, an act of like pure cowardice. Like it's a like you said, like I said this just last night. It's a war crime. It's a war crime. It's a false surrender. That is a war crime. Like to say, oh yeah, that story is bullshit. This was actually extremely cowardly, and it broke this most sacred rule, this Zeus's law rule. Like I was like, holy fuck, Christopher Nolan, like you got it. Like yeah, no, like you like we knew that from other movies, which we'll talk about, but like I was like, okay, no, like we got one here. And I agree with you boys. I think to me that moment, there's a lot of great moments in this movie. We've talked about some. We'll finish off some more here in a second. There's a lot of incredible moments in this movie. That was my like, okay, this is like a next level movie that I will remember for the rest of my life. Was that moment of like, what if Odysseus, and he's telling the story to Melody, he's like, what if Odysseus knew that in that moment what he did was the worst crime that he'd ever committed?
Yeah.
And like this was wrong. Like fuck, dude. Oh my god.
I've been so. This is the part that I've been most excited to talk about in general with you guys. Like since Saturday, I've been like, I just want to get into. So if you go on this journey with me a little bit here. So shouts out to teachers, right? I'm going to shout out my high school Spanish teacher who.
Let's go on an Odyssey, bro.
Let's go on an Odyssey. So
yeah,
shout
baby.
out to my high school Spanish teachers, Senora Hagen, who is essentially my adopted mother. Like her son's my best friend. You know, I've basically been adopted in their family. She is the first person to ever teach me anything, I would say, about media literacy and like how to observe a scene. And one of the things that she taught me when I was like a sophomore, and it always stuck with me, is look at who's in light and who's in shadow. Right? Mm-hmm. The play of light and shadow. And in that scene where they get the gates open, Agamemnon looks like fucking Darth Vader silhouette.
Yes,
right?
Literally.
You're all hyped, like, look how badass this helmet is. And then you're like, no, a good guy does not wear that helmet. Right? With the spine and the dark colors, and the Greeks where that's also a really cool thing they did was they took the bronze, but they didn't want it to be shiny, so they like distressed it to make it look like blackened. What color are the uniforms of the Trojans? They're all like golden, white,
they're white,
bright, shiny. And so it was in that moment when they open those gates and they come running in, and they was like, and then 10 years of hate and frustration, and just hunger poured into this city. It's just Agamemnon standing there. You don't even see the rest of the army, and he's just this big cloaked evil looking figure. And then the evil army invades the city and starts killing everybody. And in that moment, to me, what really stood out was this is when there's, how I'm interpreting this scene, and maybe it's heavy-handed, and I'm just like, oh, I think I'm brilliant, but whatever. That's the fall of society. This is the moment this society has changed. Is that you took this city that was such a violation of the law, so to speak, that ever since then, everything has been getting crappier and worsened, and we as a society are still not back from the fall of Troy because the good guys were so overwhelmed, and because there's the theory about with Helen that she wasn't kidnapped, she loved Paris and she ran off with him, and then Agamemnon and showed up there and forcibly retrieved her. So I just that is my favorite moment of the movie, of seeing him cloaked in shadows and just being like, the movie switches here. Like, you think, these are the heroes, and no, they're not. Yeah. They're not good guys. And in the rest of the movie, they're being punished because of it. Yeah. Like, they're all constantly just being punished because of the violation that they did to this city and these people.
And to your point, and I'm not trying to I know we still have to talk about the Scylla and Charybdis and all that, but just part of that scene that's so like it's so emotional and affecting is when who are they talking about the whole movie? Oh, we can't be like the sea peoples. We can't be like
Yeah.
them. Like they come in and they murder and they rape and they pillage and the whole thing. And it's Odysseus kind of come to that realization, like I am sea peoples. Like I
Yeah.
am that. Like that is who we were. Like we were the ones that betrayed Zeus's law and this idea of protecting and caring for your neighbor. And we're running up on these other peoples and these other civilizations, and we're doing this to them. Like I am the problem.
Yeah.
I just cannot go on enough about this stuff, man. I just think this is to me where, like, again, this was already going to be an spoilers. I fucking love this movie. Duh. Like this is already like an A+ movie. Now it's like an all timer. Like these scenes and these revelations. Now it's like an all time film study movie for me personally.
100%. Yeah. No, that, I mean, to, and that's like, like it happens so, like that happens so late. Like it is a long movie. It's nearly 3 hours, but that moment happens so late. Um, and to just like hit that point, like in such a way, um, not to be like too like obvious about it, but really kind of looking at it from, and I think this was like Nolan's kind of point, and you can kind of even look to Oppenheimer, of like how he portrayed like that historical moment, but doing it from the perspective of like the 2020s, of like 2026, you know unjust wars being fought in the name. At one point, Helen, when Telemachus is leaving, Helen says to him, say hello to your mother, and then she pulls him in close, and please, tell her I'm sorry for everything that's been done in my name. So again, a war fought under, a lie, essentially. Which, I mean, when has that ever happened recently?
Yeah, I can't think of anything. Can you?
No, no, no. What are you talking about? We're always the good guys. Yeah. So, I mean, like again, it was the emotional high point. Like I was already like jacked up. Like this movie fucking rules. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, like you're gonna be emotionally devastated when you see the 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 poor girl played by Zendaya, uh, being beheaded along with the statue of Athena. Um, some might say that it's a little heavy-handed, but whatever. It fucking worked for me, like
I loved
gangbusters.
it. I loved
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and I loved it especially because it's like, and it's a big plot point as well. Where Penelope has given him this like totem of her love,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's a pen in the shape of Athena. So even before the atrocities and the war,
Mm-hmm.
he had Athena as like his guide, and
Mm-hmm.
now she's essentially like mocking him throughout the rest of it. Of like, you used me in your on like to justify all this stuff, and you're trying to use me as your muse and to get
Mm-hmm.
back to your wife, and um, so I'm gonna look like this girl that you watched me beheaded, and it broke you. So fuck, I love that.
Jesus. Oh my god. All right,
So good.
so let's finish this thing off, man. So
Yeah.
okay,
So.
Yeah.
so fucking Odysseus, he finally, they escape from Hades, and they come between a rock and a hard place, which I found out in my research for this movie that there was an old Greek saying of being between Scylla and Charybdis
Yeah.
as an alternate way of saying
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
fucking awesome.
hey,
Like
that
that's
That's
is
where a
crazy.
rock
awesome.
and a
Isn't
hard
that
place
cool?
comes from. Yeah,
Well,
a rock and a hard place.
That's
You're right.
so
It
wild.
comes from that. Yep.
Well,
It's so
first,
sick.
first,
And so, go ahead, Justin. You got
yeah,
it.
first we gotta we have the sirens to deal with, because that's what
Oh,
um
oh, how
that's
dare I forget? Please speak on it.
that is what fuck the shade. What's the shade's name? Played by James Remar, Raiden from
Tiresias.
yeah, Tiresias, James Remar, Raiden from Mortal Kombat Annihilation himself. The always
Hell yeah.
reliable
Shouts out.
James. Yeah, the always James Remar is great, and oh man, he is like, oh, the way that he's like kind of like half underground, and like he's they have the blood sacrifice in front, and like, oh man, and he gives a prophecy. You and your crew are gonna go past the sirens. Your whole crew's gonna die. You're gonna go past the sirens. You're gonna run into the sentient whirlpool, and then, oh, by the way, there's also a sea monster. So either way, your crew is fucked. You're the only one that's gonna survive, and do whatever you want to defy the gods. You're not going to. And Odysseus is like, well, fuck you. I'm gonna defy the gods. And so as they're passing the sirens, he faintly hears the siren song. Tells the crew to plug their ears with wax, which they do. And this is a sequence that I love.
Oh man,
it's so great.
Ludwig,
He
bro.
tells his crew to tie him to the mast so that he can hear the siren song. And Himesh Patel is like, well, no, nobody's ever heard the siren song and lived. Like, that's a terrible idea. And Odysseus says, that's why it's a great idea, because I'm going to do it. That's Odysseus logic. That's Odysseus logic for you.
Yeah.
So
fucking. It's like SpongeBob's how many times we're gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man.
Yeah.
Fucking Matt.
Seriously.
Yeah, and so it's this great, it's such a great scene. Like, we're far off from this like rock outcropping. Like, all the men like cover their ears in wax. We see it kind of from the perspective of Himesh Patel's character, where he plugs one ear and the sound kind of drops out. Then he plugs.
Oh, how fucking cool!
That was fucking
awesome! Oh my god!
He plugs his other ear, and then everything else, like the other side of the sound, is muffled, and so you can kind of like hear like just barely a little bit. But then what Nolan does is he turns up the Ludwig Göransson, who fucking goes off. We see the sirens in the distance, like through like mist, and it's just a beautiful fucking sequence. And you can kind of see, like, on Matt Damon's face, Odysseus, like, at first he's kind of like, fuck yeah, like, I'm bricked up. Like, get me over to that island with those sirens. And, like, admittedly, yes, like, those sirens would have my stupid ass. Like, that, like, the off in the distance, like, you see these sexy sea ladies, like, man, yeah, they'd have my goofy ass.
The sirens in "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" would have had me since I was 12.
So I guess that's what
they
sirens
done loved
do.
me up and turned me into a horny.
Yeah, that's right. But then you slowly see like Matt Damon's performance, which it's incredible. Like, this moment, it's like it turns to like terror and like sadness and like just ultimate grief. And as you're watching this, he's tied to the mast. Like, one of his men unplugs their ears and like jumps out to get to the rock outcropping. But as you're seeing like Matt Damon like just completely lose it, tied up to the mast, he's it's kind of like cross cutting, and like Himesh Patel asked him like, well, what was the siren song, like what did it sound like? And he tells him it's like it's like the desire to have that thing that you once had but can never get again. It's like I forget the exact words, but it's like that delicious.
And then
itch.
it's like you used to have and realize that you've now lost.
Yeah.
And you have this like malicious itch that you cannot
it's under the skin.
God.
Yeah.
God, dude.
Exactly. But that moment, that performance by Matt Damon is incredible. I love that. And then we're past that, and then it's on to you guys. You guys tell me the names of these monsters, because
Scylla and
you got it, buddy. Yeah, Scylla, and then Scylla is like the monster coming out of the rocks, and then Charybdis is the sentient whirlpool.
Which I think in the actual Odyssey, Charybdis is a monster, and it's expelling and pulling the water in to create the whirlpool.
Exactly.
But I guess that whirlpool that part of the story comes from Greek sailors there is a whirlpool apparently that's really famous, I guess, in ancient Greek sailing, that there was a gap that you had to kind of like shoot to get around it, and so they were trying to warn people about the dangers of how the hidden rocks underneath it and the dangers of the rocks, and so they created the myth the monster in the whirlpool, and then the monster on the rock to create the rock in a hard place metaphor.
Yeah. And so in Hades, Tiresias tells Odysseus, he doesn't want the men to know, but he tells Odysseus, like, yeah, stuck between a rock and a hard place. So if you go the way of the whirlpool, everyone dies. If you go the way of Scylla, only six of your men will die.
Yeah,
Exactly.
one for each of the heads of Scylla.
Yeah. And so Odysseus tells the crew to, like, let's make a beeline for the whirlpool. We can kind of cut around it and try to get around it in defiance of the gods. And Himesh Patel at this point, he's totally like, no, fuck you, Odysseus. Like, we've done everything you've said, and we got turned into pig people. We're starving. We're going through the rock outcropping. Fuck you. And so they do that, and Odysseus, like, he kind of throws up his hands. He's like, well, yeah, like,
this was your decision.
Yeah, it's your decision. But we all would have died if you did what I said. Yeah. So now only 6 of us are dead. And that, like, this might be like the one CGI usage that I think to great effect.
I have an answer for this.
Okay, go for it, man.
With the big elephant trunks grabbing them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant.
Oh no! No, I want to hear about the whirlpool. Yeah, tell me that, and then we can get in.
So Scylla and then Charybdis. So Charybdis was jet skis going in circles, nice. And then little bit. I'm serious, dude. It's crazy. Jet skis going in circles to create the whirlpool, and then they just VFX it to make it bigger. But the whirlpool originally is created by jet skis, and then with Scylla. It's harnesses. It's harnesses pulling guys up out into the fucking world, and then you CGI Scylla's fucking tentacles or whatever on top of the harnesses. Yep.
Yeah.
Great. I mean that. Yeah, I love the design of that, and like you don't see other than the tentacles, and then when it goes into, like, it almost looks like a hornet's nest or something like that. Like.
It kind of looks like a barnacle.
Oh yeah,
like it kind of look. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
It's on the sea.
Like,
that makes sense.
Tentacles come out of cardboard. Yeah. But it's interesting. It's the only monster we don't really get a good look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that makes it that much more creepy.
Yeah.
If you want a good look at Scylla, go play the game Hades 2. Because one of the bosses that you fight in Hades 2 is Scylla and the Sirens, and they are a all-female glam rock band.
Hell yeah. That's rad.
Love that.
But
it's 6 heads and lives in a clamshell.
Yeah. But it's kind of like, in that instance, it's kind of, we're talking about like borrowing from obviously ancient texts, but also borrowing from like past filmmakers. Like, it is a little bit like Jaws-ish in that, Jaws, like, they didn't really show the shark a lot because the animatronics sucked and like broke down. And so Steven Spielberg shot around that. He's like, okay, well, we'll just use what we can, but for the most part, it's going to be this silent, like, unseen, like, force, this horror that's really getting at us. And so in this instance, like, obviously, like, we're 50 years from the making of Jaws. Technology is a lot better. It's not like a necessity, but it is that same idea. Like, nothing is going to be as scary. Like, there's nothing more disappointing than when you watch like a movie that has like a monster in it and they show the monster and you're like, oh, that's it? That fucking sucks. So nothing is as scary as what the reader, what the viewer can picture in their head. And so I think that's probably something that Nolan used to great effect in this sequence, like not really showing Scylla.
That's why I like the siren part so much.
Yeah,
as well.
Same thing.
Because it's up to your own imagination what that sounds like.
They're never going like, and turning up the Ludwig Göransson, as great a musician as he is, you're never going to make like, Oh Brother Where Art Thou being the exception. You're never going to make like a siren song that is your idea of what a siren song would be. Like.
Yep.
Like something that's going to draw you to the rocks and you'll put your life out there for it. So,
because turns out it's good old fashioned gospel bluegrass music.
That's right.
Is the true siren,
like we've been saying.
That's
all
right.
It is.
That's all it is.
So they go past Scylla, they go past Charybdis. Surely the worst is behind them, right? They've gotten past, and Pip, that's where everything starts to turn for the better, right? That's where things start to work out for them. Isn't that
Yeah, they get
correct?
some good food.
Yeah, roll credits.
And we're
Fucking,
home.
we got Kenny Loggins. I'm all right. Nobody worry about me.
Worry about me. No, would that would the case. Unfortunately, Poseidon and Zeus, I think the movie says, right, themselves, they say, okay, it's time to stop fucking around. Let's see how comfortable you guys are when you get stranded on an island for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
they get set on this island, and Odysseus says, hey guys, you're gonna find cows here. The only thing that you cannot do is slaughter all these cows. And they go, yeah, Odysseus, guy, what are you worried about? Of course we're not going to touch those cows.
they're
And
Apollo's
not 5 minutes
cows.
later,
Yeah.
Yep.
they're
They're
Apollo's
the sun
cows.
god.
Not 5 minutes
They're-
later, they're chowing down on some grade A beef. And
They got a nice little smoker pit going there, man. Like maybe
They
some
did,
they
yeah.
did.
Texas barbecue going, man.
They were so, and they were sneaking off in the middle of the night to have
Yeah.
barbecue without Odysseus, which might be the worst
Uh-huh.
crime they committed.
Right.
Like,
But it's so-
he's hungry too. That looked
Yeah.
good.
Does Tiresias tell him that? Is that part of the prophecy too?
Yeah.
Like they're going to
It
Yeah,
get
is.
you'll
past
get to
all
an
that,
island.
or-
Your men will slaughter all of Apollo's, the sun
Yeah.
god's cows, and
Yeah.
Zeus will take his vengeance upon you, or something
Yeah.
like that. And then they'll all die.
Yeah. And again, Odysseus is like, we're not going to that island. Like, you're all going to die. Like, just listen to me. In defiance of the gods. And again, Himesh Patel, who has had enough, he's like,
Understandable.
when we pull in the port, I'm putting in a transfer. Like, I can't do this anymore. You're a toxic,
I'm done.
you're a toxic boss.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I see
and-
what
yeah.
Leonidas is up to.
Yeah. And so, yeah, then the winds pull them in, and that's when, they're like, yeah, we're not cows. We don't even like eating cows. Like, we don't eat beef. But
The
then-
Odyssey doesn't have a ton of like comedy in it, but there are a couple lines I think we can kind of like smirk at. And one of them was, I think it's Odysseus says to Himesh Patel, he's like, so what, you thought if you eat the cows at night, the sun god couldn't find you? Or something
Yeah.
like that. And,
Yeah.
and he comes at him, he's like, guys, like, come on now.
yeah.
Like, be better. And yeah, it goes
Yeah.
sour for them.
Right.
Yeah, then
he's
they
like,
get on a boat, and we enter a rave in the Matrix.
Facts.
Just the most lightning, bright, white, flashing. And again, right, I'm up front in the movie. I'm in this movie. Like, I'm
You were.
those waves with the dolphins is like, I can taste this salt water. And just, that was too much. I couldn't watch the scene because it was just so goddamn bright, of all the lightning, the wrath of Zeus upon them, lightning flashes. And maybe it wasn't as gnarly for you guys a little bit farther back, but it was like, it's like, being flashbanged over and over and over again.
well,
It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a
I
lot.
I think the line is like, once the winds change and they're able to escape the island, and then I think the line Odysseus says is something like, and all we had was Zeus's sky, and then the very
Yeah.
next thing, boom, thunderclap, and it's the loudest like thunderclap you've ever heard, and just like lightning flashes, breaking the boat apart. At that point, so like Himesh Patel is like, I think he's yelling at Odysseus, like, I can't remember exactly what it is. It's almost, I thought it was something like, apologize to the gods, or like, beg for forgiveness or something
He's pray.
like that.
He says pray to the
Yeah,
gods.
pray. Right. Yeah. But at that point, like, nothing can be done. It's over for his crew.
It's wraps. It is wraps on Odysseus' crew, and they split the boat in half, and that's it, man. The crew is gone, and Odysseus washes up on the island that is inhabited by one. Who is it, Justin?
Charlize Theron, Calypso.
Charlize Theron, Calypso herself. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And there he stays for 7 fucking years, man.
Yeah.
For 7 years, he is stuck on this island eating lotus flowers, which they can't be that tasty. I just refuse to. Do you think? Hey, are lotus flowers affected by the lettuce problem going on?
Are we getting
Do we know if
explosive
that's a thing?
lotus flower diarrhea? Is that what's
Did the
Oh,
happening?
lotus
man.
flowers come from Taylor Farms?
Yeah,
That's the question.
we got to
False
inquire.
positive on that bacteria, though.
Yeah.
Boy,
On
this is a
that
real time
parasite.
and place when you're listening to this episode. If you listen to this episode 5 years in the future, you're like, what the fuck are these guys talking about right now?
We're going
Like, this
through
is
it. This is
crazy.
what's
Yeah.
going on. We're trying to be healthier, try to hit those weight loss goals, and then they done poison the salad.
Yeah.
Facts. Terrible.
And they're like, you want to lose weight? How about some X-Lax salad?
Hey. Just, yeah, we live in hell. We do live in hell. But yeah, no, so Odysseus recants all these stories and kind of gets to realize like, oh shit, I gotta get back to my family. And then, but by the way, this isn't like a long scene, but like other than the realization of like, oh, the siege of Troy, the Trojan horse is actually like a cowardly act, which is like my favorite. My other favorite scene in this movie is this scene, is him making the raft and getting on the water and being like, you have to give yourself up.
Just
Yeah,
laying.
he just lays down there and they're like, you have to give up control. Like, you have to take your lumps and let it be what it's going to be. And again, Ludwig Göransson, I have to listen to it again, but I do believe this is the song Another Name off of the soundtrack, I believe is the song that plays here. And like, I was like levitating. Like, this scene happens and he's being thrashed around in the water and that song plays and I was like, oh man, like this is it. Like, this really is the pinnacle. Great stuff. Loved it.
Yeah, for sure. And I know we haven't talked really much at all about Telemachus's journeys and what's going on back home in Ithaca during that time. I know we don't want to necessarily hit on every single point, but it is a pretty significant amount of the movie is the back home parts and Telemachus's journeys as well, and how awful these people are to our man. Why can't I think of his name?
John Leguizamo?
Thank you. I just was like, it's not Benicio del Toro. Don't say Benicio del Toro. Don't say Benicio.
Nice.
Leguizamo, low key MVP. Yeah, like he was great. He was like a is he a shepherd, like pig farmer
he's a shepherd too.
Yeah, but also like very like right hand of Odysseus kind of guy. Kind of he's carrying the flame, to put it in the parlance of our times, for Odysseus.
There you go, baby. There you go.
He's honoring his name, carrying the flame of Odysseus. Yeah, and they treat the dog Argus very poorly.
Oh,
Robert Pattinson putting him on the dung heap outside of
with his little fucking withered legs.
I know, the poor guy,
dude.
Man.
There's just handful of things that I can't tolerate in movies. Like the mistreatment of dogs, the mistreatment of children, the intolerance of other people's cultures, the Dutch.
There you go. Spectacular.
Oh man.
But yeah, fuck you and his withered sad legs in the poop pile.
Yeah. But yeah, so all the suitors led by Robert Pattinson, and there's a couple others we haven't even mentioned. I guess we should give them a shout out. Corey Hawkins, good to see that dude back. Haven't seen him in a hot minute, and he was great as like Robert Pattinson's kind of right hand man suitor, who was maybe not quite as big a dick, but still a pretty big dick.
His crony.
Yeah. Mia Goth as Penelope's, I guess, lady in waiting. She's kind of plotting and scheming behind her back. It's she and Robert Pattinson embrace and make out real quick. So they're obviously plotting some kind of takeover. But yeah, so is it at this point? So yeah, so Odysseus gives himself up to the sea and he washes ashore. But before that, or no, it happens after, right? When Telemachus goes to the Athena's
He's on the way
Temple.
home, and he's stopping off
temple.
at the
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And this is when Robert Pattinson kind of springs his trap, essentially. Like, we got to take out Telemachus.
Yeah, go be priests and
Yeah,
murder him in the temple.
yeah,
Yeah, I just want to again talk about Robert Pattinson, who just continuously delivers great performance after great performance after great performance in movies. Uh, he is like Joffrey Baratheon level hatred for me in this movie.
Oh yeah, big time.
He
He
does
sucks.
such a good job of being the like squirmy little just piece of shit throughout the movie that you just can't wait. You know he's gonna get his some way or another, right?
yeah.
Some way or another he's gonna get his, and I just was counting the moments.
Maybe my favorite line delivery in the entire movie.
I was waiting for this.
Can someone get these beggars out of here?
Yeah, yeah. And I saw something that was like he was talking about the beggars and he's calling them plate lickers.
Yeah.
And
That's a crazy new insult.
yeah, I saw somebody say like a post or something a while back. I was reading through it, and he was like, he hit the hard R on that. Like that was like, like
oh my goodness,
that was such like just vitriol, like malice of calling the beggars plate lickers.
Yeah, shades of Joffrey, shades of Prince Humperdinck. Like I like after the movie, like I was joking with Mac, like Mac and Abby in the parking lot, like the only thing he was missing was like this little handlebar mustache that he could kind of twist and like yes, we'll get you Telemachus.
Yes,
but I mean that I mean that in the best way. I mean that in the best way because he was incredible, absolutely incredible. I love how big he's not afraid to be just a sniveling little dickhead. Like, God bless you, Robert Pattinson.
He builds it, right?
Yeah.
As the movie goes. Like, he starts off and you're like, okay, he's kind of being a shit. You know, he's impatient and he's probably tired of waiting around for 20 years. And you know he's a piece of shit, but like, it's just like the longer the movie goes on, the more he grows in like
absolutely
fuckheadery.
Fuckheadery. Yeah. So finally, as y'all mentioned, this is where fuckheadery springs his vicious trap. Odysseus makes his triumphant return. They go back to Ithaca. Speaking of the dog, we have this great scene of the dog recognizing his master, finally one last little tail wag, which turns Telemachus on, like, oh, like you are my dad.
Right, because he's still in disguise as this veteran who's finally returned, who had
exactly.
Yep.
And they go in and Odysseus kind of sees how his house has fallen and how the state of Ithaca is like in such disrepair. And then, Justin, to your point, this is where we sit on the steps of the throne room, and then we have our big sort of emotional high point, I would say, with Penelope, and this is where it really breaks it all down.
Like, not to belabor the point, but just that whole sequence from the moment when like he sits down at the steps, and again, Zeus's law, like, we're gonna wash your feet, like it's the kind thing to do to a stranger. And so earlier in the movie, it was something that we skipped over, but it's important to like this moment when he's like telling the story of how he got Argus, and Argus was his hunting dog. He's hunting boars with a young Antinous and Sinon, and his ankle gets gored by a wild boar, and so he's getting, next scene he's getting like stitched up, and he has a horrible scar there. So flash forward to this moment when he's getting his feet washed, and the same lady who stitched him up is unwrapping like his like sandals and like getting ready to wash his feet, finds the scar, and like he jumps and like kicks over the water, startled, and like shakes his head like no, like silently, like don't say anything. And she like understands, and you get this great shot like of Matt Damon, like this realization, like yeah, that's right, I'm back, like you know, don't worry, everything's gonna work out all right. And like at this point, like I'm like a puddle, like like from for the next 5 minutes, I'm just like seriously, like just Denzel Washington single tears like streaming down my cheek, like from that moment to the recounting of what was lost in the sacking of Troy, to the revelation about Athena, to Athena being there and then disappearing, and all while he's telling his beloved Penelope this why her husband may be feeling ashamed of returning home. Yeah, so
It's brilliant. It's
yeah,
absolutely
it
brilliant.
really is. Yeah, it's such a great emotional moment. And after that is when um Telemachus obviously does not die like Robert Pattinson intended, and so he's returned, and Penelope decides we're going to have one final challenge for these suitors, and it's a challenge
And this is
that
it, baby.
only Odysseus can win, and she knows
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And yeah, speak on it, Mac.
Brothers, I've already said that the sort of realization that the Trojan horse was not what we made it to be is my favorite scene. Then I said that Odysseus floating on the raft with Ludwig Göransson's score building behind it is my favorite scene. And then I'm now saying that that fucking thrum of the bow, just that
Oh,
like he
Oh,
finally gets it, and then bring like I my soul leaves my body. And this is my girlfriend's favorite part of this movie was oh, he is Odysseus. Ugh. And like it's like that's it. Like when that we've made it. And I don't know, Justin, did you hear people were clapping? Did you hear that?
yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I mean, it is like when I speak of
Crazy.
like an event, like it is like, yeah, so like, yeah, the challenge is to string a bow that only, it's essentially a party trick that only Odysseus can do. Like string a bow that only he can string, and then shoot an arrow through like the
the heads
small
of
gap
12
between like
axes.
12 axes, and hit it. Only Odysseus can do. Penelope knows this. That's why she sets this challenge up. So we
Yeah.
see like suitors like try and fail. They offer it to an Antinous to do it, and the sniveling weasel he is, he says, "No, you've made your point. None of us can do it, so just pick the best of us." Meh. And then that's when yeah, we get Odysseus shows up and is able to string the bow naturally. That you're right, that fucking thrum,
The harp thrum.
that
Yeah.
chord is just so good. And so that they've been setting that up because as an honorable man, like even when he's hunting, he likes to thrum the bow to like startle like whatever he's hunting, to give them a fighting chance. He says it's the honorable thing to do. And so like that moment, and then yeah, Corey Hawkins turning, it's like, oh shit, yeah, oh shit, you are Odysseus. Arrow to the neck immediately. Like not only like a clap
Fire.
line,
So
but
good.
such a laugh line too.
Yeah.
Like yeah,
And then
absolutely.
it's a great fight, like kind of fight that ensues because
Hmm.
he's made them leave all their weapons outside and all their armor, kind of like Cersei did a little bit, and then
Uh-huh.
the antics are happening during it, and at one point, like weapons are slowly being like introduced, like
Yeah.
growing in scale. Like first it's shields, and it's like spears, and it's like swords, and Robert Pattinson's kind of just like dancing around the background, just like shield, grab the shield, get the shield, get spears. Like he's calling out like the weapons or whatever. But yeah, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What movie production company uses the bow and axe heads as their like logo. And you'll know it when I say it, but movies open up and it's in like bronze, and it's a guy shooting an arrow through a bow and axe heads.
I don't know.
It's not Scott Free, is it? Ridley Scott's.
I don't think so.
I know what you're I can visualize it, but I don't know the name.
Yes. It is TSG Entertainment.
Okay, I would have never guessed that.
The companies that make things such as like, they made 28 years later, The Bone Temple, Deadpool Wolverine, Poor Things. So it might be scot-free, but that's when I was looking it up, because as soon as he shot that, I was like, holy crap, I've seen this before like a bunch of movies, and that's what that actually
You're right.
is.
Right. Look at that. I just looked it up. You're so right, Pip. That's a good call, brother.
How about that? I didn't even put that together. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But yeah, then, I mean, we're essentially in Jason Bourne territory at this point.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, Telemachus is, so the armory or whatever's up above their dining hall, and that's where the sniveling little helper of the suitors is throwing like stuff through a hole in the floor. So Telemachus goes to confront him while Matt Damon is just going full Jason Bourne on some fools, and it fucking rips. Again, Ludwig Göransson, those drums, man, like Mac, like literally feeling it in my chest, like in my chest,
it's so
like
good.
shaking like my bones, as like he's just slaughtering like all these sniveling little dickheads.
Yeah, he's like Jason Bourne and Legolas, because he's stabbing people with the arrows.
And a little bit of John Wick in there, and like
he's John Wick in it.
Yeah, because he's getting fucked up too as he's going, but he's still just like, and props to Matt Damon, man. How old is, like, what? He's in his 50s now, fucking ripped, but not in like a fake like Marvel kind of way, like steroids kind of way.
No,
he's
just like it makes sense.
Lean and fucking, oh man.
Yeah, like you've been out rowing on the ocean for 10 fucking years.
Man, I'm going to put it on my inspiration board, Matt Damon's body. Like, goddamn.
There you go. You know what's funny? I love that you brought this up, because I read this today too. Matt Damon's stunt double is a woman.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Matt Damon said she had the greatest sculpted arms of anyone. He's like, those arms are like fucking phenomenal.
I believe it.
Well
man.
done. Yeah. So, shove that up your fucking Achilles assholes.
So the thing that, so as like some of these suitors are like he's slaughtering these suitors, you do see some of the suitors like kind of coming to their senses and like bowing down and like kind of like being like, oh shit, this is Odysseus. Like I'm not with them. These guys are just weird. I'm not with them. As Robert Pattinson, like, the shields, spears, get the spears, all while hiding behind like a column.
Great
it's
scene.
Such a great performance, man. Props to Robert Pattinson. And then thankfully he finally gets his. But the thing that they did in the lottery, like it was like a short straw kind of situation, right?
Lots. They drew lots.
Yeah, lots.
Yeah, yep. Okay. And so he finally gives it back to Robert Pattinson by shoving it in his mouth and saying,
because earlier he tries to give it back to him.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Yeah, because he comes back into the hall the night before.
Yeah.
And that's when they like really are treating him, and he's yelling and Robert Pattinson's chasing him. He's like, what are you, a god in disguise? Like, no, but I am your king in disguise, right?
What's your name? And he says Sinan. And he's like, does that name mean anything to you? He's like, no.
He's like, I was asked to return.
And then Corey Hawkins like, no, like that, Sinan. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you talk about him all the time.
Yeah, and how you screwed over that family. And so, to give him all this money.
That moment of, just dressing down Robert Pattinson and like really just like just sticking the needle in. I love that. But yeah, he literally like sticks the needle in by stabbing him in the heart with a huge dagger. So that was rad.
It's amazing. It's so rad. And
Yeah.
then we get to the end of it, and
Mhm.
and Odysseus, he's laying there and he's bleeding and he's overcome, these evil suitors, and Telemachus is like, oh shit, like this is it. I'm losing my dad right as I met him, and he's there and he's given what I think a lot of people would assume is like the kind of goodbye speech. Anne Hathaway is holding him and she's like, oh, like I'm gonna lose you. And he's like, no, what the fuck? I'm fine. Like we're just gonna bail. Like I'm
Look,
good, I
this
promise.
is
I've been
just but
through
a
way worse than
scratch.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm
Just,
fine. And off they go. They sail west to go honor his fallen crewmates and soldiers. And Telemachus is the hero and the new king of Ithaca,
yeah.
and fucking curtain down, baby. And that's the fucking Odyssey.
Yeah.
And then Travis Scott comes in
Yeah. Travis Scott.
with
Which is
with
awesome.
music that and lyrics that Christopher Nolan helped write.
Oh wow.
Which is pretty cool.
Apparently, and I couldn't really tell what they were saying at the end of it. I was trying to listen to it, but apparently it is him essentially telling more of the story of what happens to Penelope and Odysseus after the movie. Their kind of journey from there.
Love that.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
We've just recited the Odyssey ourselves. Look at this. The oral tradition continues, man. Okay, so I have two questions for you boys, and we can kind of I want one at a time for the first one, and the second one we can kind of talk out as a group. We all have Letterboxd together. I think we've all kind of talked about our opinions of this movie, but Justin, you first. Give me stars, give me ratings, give me your review in a couple sentences, and then we'll kind of weigh it against Nolan's other stuff here in a second. But just for you, Justin, what did you think of the Odyssey?
It was immediate 5 stars for me. If we're using letterbox rating, my daughter, if she had seen this, she would give it 2 green olives. That's her.
Hey, that's
Her
so
metric.
awesome.
But she also gave
That's
2
so
green
awesome.
2 green olives to the Moana live action. So we can't trust her.
So she likes the sea, is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it calls to her.
She does like the
It's
sea.
It
Yes.
the line in the sky where the sky meets the sea. It calls.
That's
It
right,
calls
baby.
all of us. Yeah, no, 5 stars. Immediately, like again, it's one of those. I think you really need to justify having a movie that is longer than 2 hours. Like you really have to keep people's interest, and this did not feel
Now
like
more
it
than
was.
ever.
Yeah, it did not feel like it was almost nearly 3 hour movie. Like this thing fucking moves, it sings, thrilling, exciting, gross at points, scary, heartbreaking, all the things. Like like when the credits roll, it's like I want to watch this like immediately again. So that's the best feeling I can have after seeing a movie. So that's where I'm at.
Right. Give me some stars, give me some vibes. Where are you at?
Yeah. For me, it is. I mean, it's a 5-star as well. It's a 5-star and a heart. If you're thinking about Letterboxd, I heart.
I
There you
hearted
go,
it,
baby.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can read this on my Letterboxd as well later. But I mean, it's a phenomenal epic that has lasted 3,000 years for a reason. And I was talking with Justin a little bit about this earlier today. Or maybe that was yesterday. Who knows? The days are blending together, like Odysseus with Calypso. I think that the Charleston Heston age of Greek sword and sandals epics will almost always have a draw. People love that shit. Gladiator, but like 10 Commandments, Ben-Hur, Spartacus, like these movies always do that and draw people in. And I know that Christopher Nolan has said that we haven't had one of these in a long time, and that it's just like it's like something was missing. Like we were missing a great Greek sword and sandals epic adventure that also, I mean, it definitely puts the tragedy in Greek tragedy. I mean, there's so much tragedy that happens in this movie, but that's my thoughts on it. It's outstanding, outstanding.
Oh yeah.
Mac.
Cool. I completely agree. I just think this is like I drove home. So I'm a recency bias girly. I know that about myself. Like I am really bad about like recency bias and like, I've said it a million times. Seeing a movie in theaters automatically adds a star. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Seeing it in the theaters the way it's meant to be seen automatically adds a star. So I drove home last night and I was talking to my girlfriend who, Justin was with us when we saw it, all three of us together. And I was driving home and I was trying to think like what would keep me from giving it 5 stars? Like that was my question to
Mm-hmm.
myself, is like what would it be? And I couldn't fucking think of anything. I couldn't. I could not think of anything. I was like, this is a fucking unbelievable movie. It's an event. It's a cultural event. This is a movie we're gonna be talking about 20 years from now. I'm sure, it's gonna be lost in translation watching it at home, next year or whatever. Like it will be. Like of course it will. But like just the way it's shot, the way the story is told, the way it's acted, the way it's scored, like the way it was crafted from top to bottom, the way it was written, like the whole thing is just top to bottom an unreal achievement. And we've seen some good ass movies recently. Like we've talked a lot about some really awesome movies that have come out over the last couple of years. This to me is genuinely like a film school movie. This is an all-timer. This is going to be something that we talk about a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now. This is a modern fucking classic.
No,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
no, that's awesome. I'm glad that you said that too. I mean, it made me think of something when you were saying that, of like, audiences are not tired of hearing the same story. That's not really what it is. They're like, Hollywood doesn't come up with any fresh ideas anymore. It's that they're tired of you just putting out crap and expecting us to just eat it, and just like, you'll go see it because it's there in front of you. And that's not it, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's true.
I mean, how many different stories and tellings of the Odyssey have existed in the many years as it's existed, and he still puts it out and it's filling the theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's already made over $200 million in its opening weekend and hasn't even hit international markets, or most of the populace hasn't even had a chance to even be able to see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So just make movies good,
No,
and people
like
will see.
I'll tell you, and this, like, I don't know, maybe this is a little conspiracy brained, but so the Monday after the Odyssey comes out, what does a major studio do? They drop a trailer for their anticipated blockbuster, Avengers Doomsday, and tickets go on sale.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, might be conspiracy, but I feel like that was
Um,
intentional from Marvel, from the Disney Corporation, to be like, okay, yeah, you guys had your fun. Yeah. Like, we hope you all had a good time at the theater. But now here's a real movie coming your way. So get ready for this.
Huh.
And it's so
Yeah.
heartening. And I'm the resident Marvel hater on on the pod now. I will take that mantle, but
That's okay. We always need a foil.
it's been so heartening to see the reaction to that be, thanks. This looks like shit, and like still like everybody's still basking in the glow of the Odyssey. Like try to find tickets for the Odyssey in
Yeah.
the next 2 weeks, and
Yep.
you will be sitting in the front row if at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Facts.
so
Literally.
I mean, we've never been more back in terms of the theatrical experience.
We've never been more back. And it's thanks to you, Christopher Nolan. And so let's close this podcast the only way three potentially neurodivergent guys can do, and that's by putting things in order. We are now going to do the impossible, and we're going to take the Odyssey and try and weigh it against Christopher Nolan's other movies,
Well,
of which there are 13.
yes. Before
Good,
we
Justin.
get to
What you got,
that,
buddy?
I have a couple questions for you guys, real quick.
Yep.
Oh,
Um,
please.
so I think, and we've kind of touched on this like off pod a little bit, but so last year, Sinners breaks the record for number of Oscar nominations at 16. So with the
Deserved.
Odyssey, yes, absolutely deserved. With the Odyssey, are we over? Are we under that number? What are we thinking? Do we have a new record breaker?
Potentially hot take. I think it'll be under,
Yeah.
weirdly. I think that the disparity between last year's Best Picture winners
Mm-hmm.
was like between One Battle After Another and Sinners, like who were in their own fucking category. I don't like off the top of my head. I don't think there were other movies that even came close.
Yeah.
Like I think that like that they were so because okay, so real quick run back. One Battle After Another, which wins Best Picture, hell yeah. And then we got Sinners, which I think could absolutely have won Best Picture, and I would not have been upset. Both spectacular movies. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Other Best Picture nominees: Begonia, very good movie, not quite in the same stratosphere.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, good makeup, but a pretty
Yeah.
good movie, right?
Yeah.
Hamnet, a good movie, but very much like a one woman show. I think
Yeah.
that's fair to say,
Yeah.
right?
Grief.
Yeah, exactly. It's grief porn. Yeah. F1, banging sound design. Like, okay, cool. I guess very odd.
Just
pick.
excited to be here.
Just excited to be here. Marty Supreme, same idea. Like a really good movie, but very much like a one man show. Secret Agent, good movie. I liked it. Solid. And then Train Dreams, again, good movie, one man show. One Battle After Another and Sinners are so far and away beyond anything else in that list. I think it's fair to say that it would not be much of a race if one did not exist without the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the Odyssey faces stiffer competition this year between Dune.
Mm-hmm.
I think Obsession is going to get a whole bunch of nominations. I
Doomsday.
think
Naturally.
Doomsday, of course, naturally. I'll have to look at more movies from this year, but I just think that there's a lot of really good movies coming out right now, and I think it's a very exciting time to be a movie person. I just off the top of the head, I think that the Odyssey is going to face stiffer competition, and also like how many did Sinners have last year? 14, 15?
16. 16.
Nothing's ever going to get more than 16, right? Like they were nominated to all but like 2 categories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
we're reaching maximum capacity, I guess is my point. So long answer. Pip, you answer please, because I say under. What do you say, brother?
I would say under, but I think it's going to be closer. I think it'll be close. I could see that because I think argue that the Academy, because I speak for them, viewed the movies last year as stiffer competition than the movies this year. I would be surprised if Obsession actually gets the credit that it deserves, because why would we give this upstart, kind of filmmaker the flowers? He hasn't earned it. I feel like the Academy, the awards oftentimes are a lot about how have you earned this yet. But I think that Marty Supreme and Hamnet, I could have easily have seen them. I would have been mad, but I could have seen them choosing those movies over it, because I think sometimes the Academy is like, we don't get enough people to watch, so how do we rile up viewers? Let's make controversy. And so, controversial opinion, let's make this Shakespearean movie, which they've done before, which we will talk about someday, the crime that is Shakespeare in Love, over Saving
That's
Private
coming.
Ryan.
Subscribe.
But
That's
yeah,
coming.
so I think it could get close, because I'm hoping that Dune gets its flowers, Dune 3, like Return of the King did. I really hope that it gets the flowers that hopefully it deserves. Project Hail Mary is in there as well, but I just don't think I think this movie is going to just run away with it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right
Justin, what do
now.
you say?
Yeah, so I'm actually I'll be the one to say that I think it's going to go over. I think
Wow. Wow.
every technical category that's going to have a nomination, obviously like picture, director. The only question I have is I think Anne Hathaway and Matt Damon are locks to get acting nominations. Outside of them, like they're like are they going to give one to Samantha Morton? Um, could they potentially give one to Elliot Page? Possibly.
They fucking should.
Hamesh Patel, maybe, but
Tom
probably
Holland,
not.
maybe?
Tom
Yeah.
Robert
Holland,
Pattinson.
maybe. Robert Pattinson is like, it kind of throws a monkey in the wrench because he has like 10 movies this year. So I feel like
Yeah.
but I think you can be nominated in multiple categories. So I could see him going for best actor for the drama, maybe best supporting in this, maybe best supporting in Dune. I don't know. But I mean, Dune. I have, I think we have confidence that it's going to rule, but we haven't seen it yet. You know,
Yeah.
nobody's seen it yet. So this one, so just kind of go again. Recency bias is a thing. But yeah, I would put it over. Um, God, I hope Travis Scott beats out Taylor Swift for her tacked on Toy Story song. Um, I don't think that will happen, but
No. No.
um,
Not the year she got
so
married.
oh yeah, no, of course not. We can't hold that billionaire down. Um,
But to be fair, all Swifties here, right?
oh yeah, no,
So,
definitely,
you know,
Big time.
definitely,
I'm not a Travis Kelsey supporter, but Taylor Swift, and her fans, the
yeah.
army they are, we love you.
They don't listen, like all the Swifties we know. They don't listen to this, Pip. It's fine. Just
That's true. One of
speak
them
with your
literally
heart.
told me
True.
today
Yeah,
that I would just watch the movie because this is too much.
yeah. If
Yeah, the fuck, the worst.
let's
That's a
see,
different topic.
let's do a little experiment here. Taylor Swift fucking sucks. We'll see who listens. We'll see who listens to
Jesus.
this.
I would like it to be known that I am not available on social media platforms.
We'll
The next
see who
episode is the
listens.
Justin in memoriam
Yeah,
episode
right.
where me
Is
and
that
Pip will tell our favorite Justin stories.
is that helicopters outside? They're
Oh,
coming. They heard.
yeah, they got me.
They're on the roof.
You said
The
Taylor
flock
Swift sucks and you
cameras.
heard helicopters overhead. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, the flock cameras are like peering through my walls right now.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
controls them
literally.
all. Okay, so before again, I don't want to
Question number 2.
hold us. Question number 2: what do you guys want to see? So answer either or. What do you want to see Christopher Nolan do next, or who
Yes.
would you like to see him work
Hmm.
with next?
Ooh,
Ooh.
Pip, you answer first. I got to
So
think on this.
I have heard recently, I've read recently that he was absolutely in love with Obsession. And that
I've
he
seen that
was
too.
like, this movie, which also, I think a comment I read something along the lines of like, if Christopher Nolan says like, you've made it, you just die right there because, this is your first movie. And he's like, hell yeah, man, you did great. I would like to see his take on a good horror movie. I think that who are the big name directors right now who have kind of cornered the horror market is like is it Eggers is like the big name really with like
I would
Nosferatu
say
and
probably,
coming
yeah.
werewolf movie that he's making and
Jordan
uh,
Peele.
Jordan Peele, right?
Mhm.
I would like to see another I would put Christopher Nolan. I put up there Martin Scorsese level. I want to see his horror movie. What does that look like? Is it a period piece movie? Is it sci-fi horror, which could be just amazing? Imagine Inception with a touch of Alien in there.
Oh yeah, like a good
Uh,
cosmic horror. Damn.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to see. I'm a sucker for sci-fi horror, so that's where I'm leaning. Just
Hell
let
yeah.
that man have some sci-fi horror.
Mac, what about you?
I love that. I'm not good about who he should work with next. I really am not sure. All I know is you stay work with Ludwig fucking Göransson. You
Yeah,
keep that
right.
partnership together as long as it'll run. As far as next stories, For me, again, I'm such a mythology geek. I would love to see him stick with something like an older, sort of another swords and sandals idea. And this is really out there, and it would be a lot more like sort of targeted. And I don't know if people would get super down on it, but Cuchulainn. So Cuchulainn is the like greatest. It's like the Hercules of Irish mythology. So Cuchulainn is like the greatest Irish folk hero. Um, he's kind of like the main guy in their mythology. So I would love to see him kind of take on some of his stories and again, it's going to be kind of a similar ish vibe to the Odyssey, but it's kind of more just like straight up like macho, like overcoming adversity type deal. So it's a little bit easy mode for him, but I just think it'd be cool. And then if you want a genre change, give me a fucking Chris Nolan Western. Give
Yeah.
me a Christopher Nolan Western, like really get in there, like tell some stories, talk about the gritty we've seen a lot of like really gritty westerns, but like really get in there and kind of talk like like one thing Christopher Nolan does so well is like create worlds. Like he really
Mhm.
does show these living breathing realities and these landscapes that the characters are existing as a part of, not like it's centered around them. They're just a part of a larger ecosystem. And I think that him really getting into like a turn of the century like western would be like really really sick. Give me like a Christopher Nolan western set in like 1902. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like I just think something like that I think would be super sick. But Justin, what do you got on this?
Written
So
by Taylor Sheridan.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you guys. Like, yeah, I have heard his potentially doing a horror. I know he's a big fan of Obsession. I think that would be a pretty fun next step for him. See what he could cook up in that genre. Um, I'll go out on a limb. I mean, Christopher Nolan, noted MacGruber fan. Let's see a Christopher Nolan
Hell
comedy.
yeah.
Let's see a
Hell
Christopher
yeah.
Nolan comedy. I want to see
Love it.
what he could potentially do in that. And so the one that I think it almost feels inevitable, but maybe that's just in my mind, as far as like working together with somebody. You know I'm gonna say it. My fucking boy, Tom fucking Cruise.
Yes, sir.
Let's get Tom Cruise in a Nolan
King of
movie,
movies.
because so it's gonna be like pretty interesting because I think TC is really making a move for Best Actor this year with the upcoming Digger. Um, and then you have Matt Damon, who I feel like could be a lock to get Best Actor this year. So I think
He's gonna be tough to beat.
it's going to be a
He's
death
gonna be
match
tough to
between
beat.
those two. I feel like. I mean, Digger could be an absolute shit show. We've only seen like that one preview, but I feel like maybe that's an
You don't think
opportunity.
Timmy for Dune? You don't think that's gonna
I
be a
think
part of the
I think
conversation?
Timmy will, but I think he's going to be a perpetual nominee until maybe he's like 40, 50-year-old Timmy, and then they'll give him his
Sure.
flowers. It's a little bit of a Leo situation, I think. Like you got to
Yeah,
earn
that's a
it,
good
young
call.
buck.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so Tom Cruise, get him in a Nolan movie. Let's put him in the fucking cosmic horror Nolan movie. Let's do it.
I mean, or going
Love
with
it.
you said with comedy. I mean,
Yeah,
Nolan doing a heist comedy, Ocean's
right.
11.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
we go.
I could see something along those lines because he can make a damn good heist movie.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
What
That's
if
a
what
great
if
call.
his next thing is just like I'm gonna make Jackass 6.
Oh,
I'm gonna make a Pixar movie.
Just
with
get
Lawrence
Knoxville in the
scoring?
Oh my
The
god. Shot all in IMAX. Are you kidding me?
I'm there.
Let's
I'm
do it.
there. I'm on set. I'm there.
Let's do it.
I don't know that I need to see Johnny Knoxville's genitalia in 70 millimeter IMAX.
Please, Chris Pontius's genitalia.
Oh,
Johnny
you're right,
Knoxville's
right.
too big a star for that.
Yes, he would never.
You would never.
All
Christopher
right.
Nolan has made some amazing movies, man. And now we got to do the unthinkable and try and weigh the Odyssey against it. Okay, Justin, he's got the list on his phone there. Pip, he's got his list here too. I know y'all, I've been chomping at the bit for this. Okay, so just as a reminder for all of our fans, this is Christopher Nolan's filmography. Following Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, The Prestige, The Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, Oppenheimer, and The Odyssey. So, two things we need to figure out. For one, what does Christopher Nolan have against naming movies things other than one word? And then also, how do these shake up? Boys, discuss. What do y'all got for this?
Oof. Who wants to go first?
Oh
Rip it,
man,
rip it, pip
would
it.
you put them all in order?
Yeah, I got
Okay.
I
What do you
got
got for
my I
this?
got mine or my order. If you
Justin,
guys,
tackle it,
all
Justin.
right. So what this is? So Odyssey's is 13th, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
So number 13, I have Following. Number 12, I have Insomnia. 11, Tenant. 10, Dunkirk. And really, those ones are the ones that I know Dunkirk is probably higher on a lot of people's lists, but I just don't have a big, response to those. They're fine movies. Let's see here. Number 9, I got Batman Begins. Number 8, I have his first attempt at the Odyssey and The Dark Knight Rises.
Nice.
7, I have Memento. 6, Oppenheimer. 5, Inception. 4, The Dark Knight. 3, The Prestige. Oh, fuck.
It's hard, isn't it?
Am I going to put the Odyssey number 1 now? I'll go 2, The Odyssey, and number 1, Interstellar. But that
Okay, so you do still have
is,
Interstellar on top.
yeah, I'm trying to fight recency bias because I do love Interstellar. Um, it is like, I have the most emotional response to that movie out of
Mm-hmm.
any of his. Um, yeah, so I'll keep that at number 1, but the Odyssey is it could change by tomorrow and be my number 1. That's where I'm at.
Love that. Pip, let's see it.
Oh man, this is not easy for me to do. As Justin was saying them, I'm like, at some point I'm going to deviate from his, I promise. Um, so I would say, I mean, for mine, it goes Following, Insomnia, Tenet, Dunkirk, and then I would say Memento. Dunkirk also for me, like, I think part of my issue with Dunkirk is uh, I got tired of drowning in that movie. Like,
I
Ooh,
know you
yeah.
did.
they
I know
just
you
are
hate people drowning.
constantly drowning in the
Yeah.
movie. And again, it's a terrible event that happened in history and also a very wonderful event at the same time, but without getting it too much into it. I lost his filmography. So then I would say Memento after Dunkirk. Um, I would then say, I think I would put Oppenheimer next as 8.
Oh, okay.
And I think part of the reason why is like Oppenheimer, without giving too much of a reason behind it, is I think one of his least rewatchable movies because it's very very good, but also I feel like that movie does feel long. It just feels like you're committing to it.
Yeah.
And I can't see your faces, so I can't see the anger in your eyes. But
No anger.
then I would say after that, I would say The Dark Knight Rises. Then probably Inception. Um, then Batman Begins. Where am I at here? Batman Begins. The Prestige. Next. How many have I gone through? Now I've lost track of it. Oh man.
Go off vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and just to kind of put them, I know I'm missing one of them, and it's I'm kicking myself over this. So I would put the Prestige next, Interstellar after that, the Odyssey, and then I would probably do the Dark Knight because the Dark Knight's one of my all-time favorite movies. Did I name all
Yeah,
of
it
his
is.
movies?
I think
I
you
feel
got
like I
them all.
missed one. Yeah.
I do actually think you got all of them.
Yeah, I think you did.
Nice.
So I would say maybe the Odyssey is my
Hell yeah,
second
brothers.
favorite of his.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Hit us, Mac.
For me, okay, I'll just be honest. I've never seen Following or Insomnia, so they're gonna go at the bottom. I
I
apologize.
haven't seen
I
Following
know
either, so again, that's why it's there also.
yeah,
It's fine.
I
It's his
appreciate
first.
you.
It's his first movie.
Yeah, like he's just kind of trying stuff. I get you. So okay, so Following and Insomnia at the bottom of the list. Okay, for me, Tenet, Inception is going to be number 10. I'm not a huge Inception guy. I know that's a controversial pick. I'm not a huge Inception guy. Number 9 is Dark Knight Rises. Number 8 is Batman Begins. Number 7 is Dunkirk. Yeah, my list is a fucking mess. Number 6 is Oppenheimer. People are not going to like Dark Knight Rises with Oppenheimer so high and Dark Knight Rises so low. I just think Oppenheimer's a fucking banging movie. And I'm with you, Pip. It does feel long. I agree with that, but it's also some of the greatest acting performances of all time. So I do like that movie a lot.
That's true.
Top 5 Nolan is Memento at number 5. Number 4 is The Dark Knight. Number 3 is The Prestige, because that's the first, like, when I was a kid, I was like, this was kind of my awakening of like, oh, this is like a really good movie. And not just like a teenage comedy or like a superhero movie or like, an animated movie. I was like, oh shit, this is like actually like a brilliant movie. Like, shouts out The Prestige. Number 2 is Interstellar. And number 1 is The Odyssey.
Nice.
I can't get it out of my head.
Your
Yeah.
top
It's-
two
I mean,
favorite
I know-
Nolan movies are The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Exactly.
I was right there with you, Justin, because I like Interstellar. As I sit here talking to you, like right before we got on this podcast, Interstellar is like a top 4 or 5 movie for me all time. Like I do
Yeah.
fucking love Interstellar. I think that's like nigh a perfect movie, but I think The Odyssey is such an achievement. I mean, again, I just saw it last night. You asked me this question in a week, maybe I'll change my mind. But at least like almost exactly 24 hours removed, Justin, from you and I walking out of this movie
Mhm.
theater, like it's all I think about. It's
Yeah.
encapsulating. I cannot wait to go see it again. I want to break it down. I want to watch it with other people. I want to bring it home. I want to go watch my parents are going to go see it, and they haven't gone to a movie theater in years. Like my parents are older. Like they don't go out and do stuff. Like they largely, they do their thing, but they're not like going out to, movie theaters too often. And so my dad and I talked on the phone today, and he was like, I can't wait to go see this movie. And I'm like dying to talk to him about it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is really just a culturally significant movie that I think we are going to look back on. Your daughter is going to be talking about this movie 15 years from now. I'm being so for real. Like I really do think that this is a landmark movie that I think is going to have a lot more historical significance than we may even realize in this moment. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm gassing it up too much. Maybe I'm doing too much. I recognize that, but like, I think this is an achievement, and it's creeping up in a top 9 movie for me all time. It is right there.
As you were saying that, Mac, I was thinking about like I could see my history teacher in high school wheeling the TV in.
1,000,000%.
We're gonna put on the Odyssey.
1,000,000%.
And that's not a shot against it, right? One of my favorite movies also is Kingdom of Heaven, and that is the movie they wheel in and are like, all right, let's learn about the Crusades or whatever. And I think that this will be another one of those types of movies where it's like, yeah, you read the Odyssey book, now let's watch the movie. And I loved those days in school. Those were my favorite days in school.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
One of the best ways to connect to these historical stories is through these movies, man. Like, that's amazing stuff. And I think I don't know what else I can say about it. I think this is a great movie. I think this is an important movie. And they fucking got it.
I will say, the reason why Interstellar is maybe not as high up on it's pretty damn high up there, but it's not number 1 or number 2, is because it makes me cry too damn much.
It's so real.
So hard
That's so
for me
valid.
to go and watch because I bawl my damn eyes out almost every time I watch it, and that's not a shot at. And again, all of these movies are really good for the most part. I mean, I don't really love Tenet very much, but for the most part, they're all really good. Interstellar is a phenomenal movie. For some directors, it may even be their best movie that they could ever make.
Mhm.
But stop making me cry so much.
That's why I love it, man. Like
Yeah,
like if a movie can make me like laugh, like literally like laugh out loud or cry, you got me.
Better.
That's what
You
that's
got
what
him.
you got. Yeah.
but it can't be cheap. I'm tired of Pixar's cheap cries. Don't come at me
You gotta
with Up.
earn it. Gotta earn it.
Don't you come at me with Up. That I've got a story about that
That's
someday, and it ruined my buzz. Essentially, I was so mad, and I hold a grudge against it.
Toy Story 5 got me. Toy Story 5 got me at one moment. So,
yeah.
yeah,
Where's
they
the
got
Toy
me.
Story rewatch pod?
Oh, yeah.
Boys, we have circled the globe. We have gone island to island. We have crossed many seas. Closing thoughts, Justin, on Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey.
It is a time of apparent magic, and as our goddess Nicole Kidman says, we come to AMC theaters. We come to this place for magic. So, yeah, we're back.
Boom.
It's everything we wanted.
And more.
Yeah.
Pip, what do you got, buddy?
It's okay to keep telling the same stories over and over again. Just make good movies, and people will come. Field of Dreams. This shit. You make a good movie, people will go see it. I'm not saying all movies that flop are bad, but they did everything right to get this movie hyped, to get people into it, and it is a tale that has been told over and over and over again, and it's great. So go see it.
Spectacular. And of course, Odysseus will return in Avengers Doomsday. All right, gang. I appreciate y'all listening in. This was a fun one, man. This is a really fun one. Yeah, obviously, if you have not already, please go get tickets, man. Support the movies because stuff like this, man, like this is important stuff. You want to be, the one person to not see it in 870 millimeter IMAX 40x. Soon enough, they're gonna make a movie where you just get shot in the neck with an arrow when you watch this movie, and by God, we'll be there to watch it. This is a goodbye from myself as well as my buddies Pip
Bye, everybody.
and Justin.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you indeed. And we will see y'all in the next one. Hell yeah.